Checking the... nope. And this is why I do this. Anyway. Okay, audio check.
Testing.
Yes, you show up as noise. Hooray.
Yay. The real question is, can the audience hear us?
And you hear me. 1, 2, 3.
That I did put in Nightbot. Oh, and Nightbot should be a lot less mean this week, people, so sorry about that.
And Pure Dark Natural says they can hear us.
Awesome.
Get him, Nightbot.
So, Admiral Ross, do you want to do our intro?
Sure. It is almost the 24th century. Actually, it's almost the 25th century. It's 2376-ish. The Dominion War has just ended, and Starfleet is getting back to its original purpose of scientific exploration and learning more about the universe. They're starting with the galaxy that they live in, but they'll get everywhere else eventually. These are the voyages of the USS Bellerophon, an Intrepid class Pathfinder exploring the Shackleton Expanse. And this is the Star Trek Adventures game from Modiphius. If you're familiar, wonderful, welcome to the party. If not, we'll try and teach you how to play the game while we're having fun and learning how to play ourselves. I'll be the narrator for today's game, as portrayed by Admiral Ross. If the crew would like to introduce themselves.
Let's start with the captain.
Sure.
I've moved you to be on top of the screen.
I saw that. So I'm Josh. I will be playing Captain Connor Reese, captain of the USS Bellerophon.
You may want to move your mic. You're a little soft.
Eat the mic!
Fine. I'll.
Remember, you get to talk on the side of that one, I think.
Every application uses differently, and you're right. I have to talk to the side. Is that too loud?
That's much better.
Okay. Well, let me turn down the monitor. It's sounding too loud to me. Okay. Captain Reese is great at Starfleet protocol and diplomacy and team dynamics, and thinks that exploration and discovery are the heart of the Federation, and Starfleet is the guardian of the prosperity of the galaxy. So therefore, he's good at talking to people and giving orders, not so good at actually doing things. We'll see how this goes.
I take it Captain Reese is human?
Captain Reese is in fact human, because the Federation does not discriminate in any way at all. That's why most of their captains are human.
And Lieutenant Kareth.
Greetings. I am Lieutenant Kareth. I am in the Science Division, and I am a Vulcan. I am currently the Chief of Astrometrics, and my specialties include astrometrics, which would be the study and measurement of stars and astrological bodies, and exotectonics, which would be specifically the study of tectonic movements in alien planets. Also, it is only logical that Federation appoints females to be captain, because apparently they are the only ones who apply.
Ooh, burn.
Thank you, Lieutenant.
My pleasure, Captain.
And I am Ms. Chrysula, but today I'm Lieutenant Gen. I am a Ferengi science officer, Ferengi medical officer, but not lead medical officer. I'm a trauma surgeon and xenobiologist. And the current Grand Nagus let a lot of us, created a lot more opportunities for females to join the Federation and see what's out here. So, yeah, it's been fun. And my boss curses a lot for a Betazoid, so that's always fun. But, yay! Go Ferengi! Prosper and live long, yeah. We're all good with this.
Peace and long life. Also, it is only logical that the Chief Medical Officer curses a bit. As a Betazoid, he is forced to vent emotions not only his own, but also others.
True. Can't read my mind, though.
This
Plus,
is
medicine is a matter of life and death, and therefore cursing is entirely appropriate compared to the alternative. Thank you, Lieutenant.
this is incorrect. Betazoids cannot read minds; they read emotions. They are empaths, not psychics. Pretty sure.
Still can't read me. That's canon. Too many lobes.
It is true, Lieutenant Jen. None of us can read you.
Again,
Is again, Lieutenant
It
Gen.
is.
None of us can figure out what you're thinking.
You do approach things in a most illogical fashion.
I mean, it's logical if you consider how I was raised. Expand or die. That's why I'm here.
It seems to have an illogical emotional component.
Yes, yes, Lieutenant Kareth, it's called greed. Which I am less with, otherwise I wouldn't live in a meritocracy right now. What? Social currency is a thing.
The con officer looks back at the three of you having this conversation. We're coming up into the Orga system now.
The what system?
Excellent. What?
Orgus.
Orgus.
what's-
Okay,
Orgus.
that is not what I heard.
What's
Sorry.
what's the
I'm
kind of
sorry.
name of the con officer?
The organ system. The con officer is a Zendarian named Halal. Zendarians are very, very odd. They're not actually members of the Federation. They're on the border between Klingon space and Federation space. They are telepathic. They're pink-skinned. They read emotions. They read thoughts. They project thoughts. But so far, Halal has been a fairly quiet, fairly happy, friendly member of her species.
All right, so what's today's mission?
Today's mission, you are tracking down a missing science vessel. You've been searching for the SS Tesla, which went missing 6 weeks ago while cataloging anomalies in the unstable section of the Shackleton Expanse. The region is notorious for unstable number of temporal and spatial anomalies. Some are benign and some are extremely dangerous. 18 hours ago, the Bellerophon picked up the plasma trail from the damaged ship. Your science officer thinks. The Organ system has 2 Class M planets, both with populations protected under General Order 1, the Prime Directive. Oregon 2 has a primitive civilization equivalent to equivalent to medieval Earth. The residents call themselves the Slithar, and they are a violent and warlike culture. The residents of Oregon 3, they call themselves the Lormians, are quite different. They are a mammalian species resembling humanoid lemurs that are noted for being a peaceful and communal society. They are equivalent to mid-21st century Earth, just pre-warp tech, but they're still covered by the Prime Directive. The plasma trail from the Tesla leads directly towards Oregon 3.
Wait, so the ship is not covered by the Prime Directive, but the planet is?
Both planets are covered under General Order 1 because they are both pre-warp cultures.
Right.
Which, out of character question, just to refresh my memory, because I've seen the Prime Directive broken too many times. The letter of the law is we do not interfere at all with pre-warp civilizations.
Correct.
They do not know we exist. They do not know others exist. They are meant to develop naturally without our interference.
That is correct.
Thank
Right.
you. I love the Ferengi, but I'm a little less Trekkie than many nerds.
That's okay. The Bellerophon takes a few minutes to transit, and you are in orbit around Oregon 3.
I would like to scan the planet to see if I can, the planet and the space around it. If the plasma trail led here, I would like to know if the ship crashed or if it has managed to get into some sort of stable orbit.
Sure. 2 seconds. The ship's main deflector has been modified so that it transmits interference, so that the people of Oregon 3 can't see you, because they do have radio telescopes and other technological devices that should pick up ship at this time. The character at Ops, which in this case would be Lieutenant Kareth, can make a reason plus science task. Astrometrics will give you, well, no, astrometrics won't help because you're looking for the ship, not the planet. But you are assisted by the ship's sensors plus science. So if one of the other of you would like to roll the ship's sensors plus science, you certainly can.
Do we have a character sheet for the Bellerophon?
I have the Bellerophon pulled up.
Bellerophon. Okay.
The
And-
Bellerophon's sensors plus science rating is a combined 14.
Should I roll for the ship?
Yes, please. If you would assist, Lieutenant Gen.
All right. Well, technically, I'm assisting as the ship. It's an interesting system.
The ship's helping.
The ship's helping. So I roll 2 dice and have to roll them under a 14.
Correct.
Okay. Ooh, that's an 8 and a 13.
Okay.
So that's 2 successes.
What am I adding together again to get my?
You are adding your reason plus your science.
Oh, that's gonna be shit. Why is my reason so low?
Lieutenant Gareth.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. The PDF cuts it off, so it looked like it was just 1.
Oh no, your reason is higher than that. I believe your reason's 10 or
11. Yeah. Reason plus science, correct?
Yes.
That make it a 15 to... So I rolled an 11 and a 15.
Okay. So you total generated 4 successes. The difficulty of the task was 2. So you generated 2 momentum. Would you like to spend them on acquiring more information?
I would like to spend 1 momentum on acquiring more information. I believe I can spend 1. Just 1?
You can spend as many as you want to, up to the total amount you have.
Just 1 then.
Okay. All
So-
right. So you have found the USS Tesla. Or not the USS, the SS Tesla. It has crash landed, but it's relatively intact. It's in a wilderness region about 200 kilometers from the Lormian capital. There are no humanoid life forms in the vicinity. There are energy fluctuations around the planet that are interfering with the sensors, and it's very hard to differentiate human life forms from the natives. The scan also shows an extremely powerful energy source about 5 kilometers underground, not far to the north of the capital. That underground energy source is far more advanced than anything on the planet and is of an unknown kind. It is not natural, and it is unlikely that it is an energy source used by the Lormians.
You said that it was very difficult to tell the Lemurians from the other humanoids. Were there any non-humans on the crew of the other ship?
The Tesla carries a crew of 6 scientists. 4 of them are humans, 1 of them is an Andorian, 1 of them is a Trill.
I know Andorians have much elevated body temperature.
At this range, you're not going to be able to pick up anything. The interference is just raising all sorts of hell with the sensors.
Fair enough.
You also know that the energy fluctuations are going to make communicators ineffective. You won't be able to use a transporter. You're going to have to take a shuttle down.
Okay. And the Tesla crashed how far from the unknown energy source?
200-ish kilometers.
Captain, my readings are showing that the Tesla has crashed upon the planet below. While sensors are currently being disrupted by energy fluctuations on and around the surface, it appears that there are no natives near the crash site. In addition, I have detected an unusual energy source 5 kilometers north of the capital and 200 kilometers east or west of the Tesla.
It is to the energy source is, well, let me check again real quick. It is west of the capital.
West of the capital, but east of the Tesla?
Sorry, the energy source is north of the capital. They're basically perpendicular to each other. They're parallel. They're running along the
Okay.
same latitude lines.
So it's west of the Tesla.
It's the energy source is closer to the capital than the Tesla.
Okay.
Thank you, Lieutenant. Is there anything else you can find out from up here, or are we going to have to form an away mission in order to find out more?
It will have to be an away mission, and we will have to use a shuttlecraft as the energy frequencies around the planet preclude the use of the transporter without severe danger. Additionally, the energy source I have detected is not Lemurian in origin and does not match any other profiles of energy sources in the database or of that I have encountered before. It does not appear that the locals either created or are using the energy source presently. I cannot determine at this time whether or not the energy source is the culprit
Hmm.
of the energy fluctuations around the.
Well, we're going to need to investigate the energy source regardless, given that it's potentially a danger to the Prime Directive. However, I think that the shuttle, the ship we're following is our first priority. Given the nature of the tasks of the various command crew, I'm afraid I'm going to have to go down myself, accompanied by Lieutenant Jen, Lieutenant Kareth. Can we also have a few security people with us? Or is there not space in the shuttle?
It's not that there's not space in the shuttle, but there's only a couple of security officers for the entire ship because the
Okay, yeah. If we
is a scientific vessel, not a full line flagship.
It
Got
is
it.
not. It is also not logical to bring more people down to the surface than we absolutely need to, as the chances of more people breaking. It is a higher chance for more people to break the Prime Directive than it is for a smaller party done in stealth.
We will need someone to pilot the ship, though. What skills would that utilize again?
That's true.
Either-
Do we have a spare
have a
pilot who can come
pilot.
down with us?
There's it's either daring or for piloting the ship is a con task, and you use either daring or control, however you like.
I can do that at 10. No, it's 12. But
Because Lieutenant Kareth, what do you think the odds are that this energy interference might have interfered with the Tesla's engines or otherwise caused it to crash on the planet?
Did I detect any? So I saw the energy source. Did I detect any kind of residual energy of the same signature on the Tesla when I scanned it?
No.
I did not detect any energy of a similar source to the power source on the Tesla upon my first scans. However, depending on the age and the volatility of the energy, then it may have dissipated before we got here.
Okay.
However, I calculated it unlikely that the energy source was directly responsible for the destruction of the Tesla.
Okay. So should I pack a trauma kit before we head off on the Oregon Trail?
I did not detect any life forms on the Tesla.
that said, you should absolutely be prepared to deal with any injuries we encounter, given that we're going to an unknown circumstance.
Yeah, sure.
Do we have a
Okay.
pilot we can that we can assign who'll stay on the ship, or should I have say Lieutenant Kareth pilot us down with my guidance as captain?
It's up to you. You could requisition a pilot if you wanted to.
Seems legit. Actually, a quick question on mechanics. Connor's thing is all about leadership. Can I use leadership to assist my subordinates when they're trying to do tasks that I want them to do?
You could use your spirit of discovery ability to use your point of determination to add 3 points of momentum to the pool, which they could use to improve successes if they needed to.
Sure. No, I'm more thinking about how do I bring the team dynamics focus into play.
That would be more of a crew management and finding the right person for the right job.
Okay. So, for instance, if I want to say find the right pilot for this job,
You could roll. Let me check real quick.
And to verify, I did not see any life forms around the Tesla, correct?
No, you did not.
But there is interference,
There is a lot of electromagnetic interference, yes.
so hope for the best, prepare for the worst.
Always a possibility. You would like to find the right pilot for the right job. That would be a reason plus command.
sure. And that's rolling 2d20 because of team dynamics. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
So rolling a 2d20 naturally. Team dynamics gives you a focus so that you will generate extra successes for it.
Right. Sure. Oh, those were fun rolls. I would like to see how the GM is going to handle this. So I rolled an 18 and a 20.
Neat. The only pilot you could bring along would be Lieutenant Halal. However, you are very aware of the fact that Lieutenant Halal's species, if isolated from other telepaths, has a tendency to acquire psychosis and go very, 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 very off the rails morality-wise.
Right.
So I'll also have to pack a few hypo sprays of some other drugs. Okay.
You could requisition her if you wanted to.
And none of us are telepaths, I believe.
Incorrect.
Oh, you were wait.
It's canon. It's also canon that at least Betazoids cannot read Ferengi. So possibly
Vulcan-
other telepaths can't as well.
Vulcans have a limited psychic ability.
You've never tried to mind meld with Halal?
It does not seem logical for me to do so now. However, I have studied space extensively, and I could attempt to pilot the shuttle myself. I have received some training on the subject, but it is not my specialty.
You all have received some training on it. The CONN department is your ability to pilot a craft of all sizes. So you've all had some training in how to operate a spaceship.
Right. I believe of the three of us, I am in fact the best pilot with a rating of 12.
Yeah, my con is 1.
Hmm.
That one really is 1.
Yeah,
No, under those circumstances, I think the risk of having an insane of having a unstable pilot is lower than the risk of crashing on the surface before we even are able to explore. Therefore, yes, I will bring the best pilot for the job, despite the issues. Hopefully, if there are issues, Lieutenant Kareth can stabilize them using a mind melt.
Or I could bring some extra sedatives.
Antipsychosis drugs.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna use that word, but yeah.
It's up to you all.
If necessary, but I believe that would be a last resort.
Understood. Yes, sir.
By your order, Captain.
All right. So I make my way back to medical. How does one? So I know Cortex. Faith Core borrows a lot from Cortex, but I think this is that the building advantages is more of a fate thing.
It's a Cortex thing, but I don't think this is Cortex. This is Momentum. This is the Mongoose system.
Oh, okay.
You can swing by medical and pick up a trauma kit and a medical kit to go along with the tricorder, and be ready to go for the shuttle in the next 20 minutes.
Since our pilot has some problems, are there any medications that they have utilized before that I should maybe take a few extra of?
The doctor, Dr. Price looks at you like, you're doing what?
Captain's orders.
All right, that's fine then.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking the question I'm asking.
We've never tried to sedate Halal before.
Okay.
As far as we're aware, the only thing that I've ever seen that remotely sedates her is blood wine, and a lot of it.
So synthahol isn't exactly a adequate substitute. Well, I wouldn't.
Non-alcoholic beverage? No.
No. I'm not big on self-medication. So what you're saying is I need to be in counselor mode more than trauma surgeon mode, which I am not trained for.
I'd be very careful, and I would try and keep Halal away from other people.
What race is Halal again? They're
Zendarian.
Zendarian. They are. I know this race, but I'm blanking.
You do not, because they're created for the specifically for this NPC.
Oh, okay.
They are a hive mind species that exists on the border with the Federation.
Oh, the Klingons. Okay.
They are extremely well loved by the Klingons, but
Okay.
the Klingons have given them freedom to decide whether or not they want to join the Klingon Empire or the Federation as they choose.
So this individual's problems stem from they're supposed to be part of a hive mind and they're kind of not right now.
Correct. You're not sure how they managed it aboard the ship, because there aren't any other telepaths aboard the ship. But somehow Halal seems to be completely normal
Okay.
in every interaction you've had with her prior to now.
But also, I might not have noticed her having any telepathic or empathic effects on me because I'm a Ferengi.
No. Her psychosis will manifest in that she will become violently angry and attempt to hurt someone. She doesn't project her telepathic abilities on other people.
Oh, okay. Okay, I get it. I think I get it. Yeah, I'm gonna take some extra sedatives. There are already some in the medical kit, but you know.
Best of luck with that.
Oh, poor Helms person. Okay. Yeah, I am. Well, here I go. What is it keeping the head of medical here today? I forget.
They're currently supervising the decontamination of the first officer who picked up something the last time they were on shore leave.
Oh, on Ryza.
Yeah.
Yes.
That
Okay. So yeah, wish me luck.
I saw someone asking in chat earlier if there was anybody doing Kirk's philosophy. That'd be the first officer.
The first officer is a participant of the Kirk philosophy of getting things done.
Anyway, the greater the risk, the greater the profit. So yeah, let's do this. Okay.
So you guys take a few minutes to gather your equipment. You meet at the shuttle bay.
Got suitcases full of stuff. Woohoo.
Captain.
What's the lieutenant's name?
Lieutenant Halal.
Lieutenant Halal. Are you safe for this mission? I understand that your species has some issues. I don't quite understand how you've managed to stay stable on our trip, though. It hasn't seemed to be a problem.
As provided we're not gone for more than, say, 16 to 20 hours, I should be fine.
I do not anticipate that.
Captain.
You all notice that Halal has a bladed weapon tucked into the back of her uniform.
Yes, Lieutenant Carth?
It is worth noting that the electromagnetic frequencies on the planet will prevent communicators from working. We will not be able to communicate with the ship while we are down.
Well, if necessary, then we will have.
Can we talk to each other? Will they work short range?
You're not sure?
I cannot guarantee they're working on the surface either.
Oh, that will be one of your orders of business once we land. Then is making sure that we can communicate. We're separated.
Aye, Captain.
If we do need to communicate with the ship, we can send the shuttle back.
Probably true.
Aye, Captain. That will leave us stranded on the planet's surface, on a planet where the Prime Directive directs us to not be discovered, as none of us, I believe, will blend in to the local population.
That is correct. None of you will be able to pass for a Lormian.
Well,
They most resemble large Terran lemurs.
do the large lemurs wear clothes?
The Tesla's reports are not conclusive either way.
This sounds like the cutest alien race I've ever heard of. But yes,
Also,
Prime Directive, fine.
Are the ship's visual sensors sufficient to be able to pick up things on the surface at any reasonable scale?
If they weren't currently using the deflector to blanket the area with interference, they probably could, but your sensors are playing hell with their sensors.
We must remain hidden, Captain.
Naturally, Lieutenant. Or at the very least, if we aren't hidden, we must blend in, however possible. At the moment, I see no reason to even potentially damage this, the Prime Directive.
Let's just see if we can get our people and get out. And then we can go back later.
Captain, what do you plan to do with the downed ship?
Well,
We
we'll have
can't-
to investigate it first, shall we?
That is logical, Captain. However, we cannot leave it on the surface of the planet. It will interfere with the development of this culture if they find it and reverse engineer the technology.
An excellent point, Lieutenant. But I think one probably best handled when we know more.
Aye, Captain.
What's the rank of our pilot?
Lieutenant.
Lieutenant, if all is ready, take us down.
Very good. So this is a control plus con task. Whoever's riding in the sitting in the secondary seat can either use a control plus engineering check or a reason plus science check to assist with the navigational process.
I can do the reason plus science check. It's 15 for me.
Okay.
What's the other check you were offering?
Control plus engineering.
Yeah, sure, I can make that. If nobody else is better than 12, I can make the control plus engineering. Or is it only one assistance allowed, or can we both try?
Only one of you can help because there's not enough room for all of you to be up there.
And I believe my 15 is higher than your 12.
Your 15 is totally higher than my 12. Math.
And my reason science is a 13.
Okay.
But I kind of wanted to sit in the back anyway. Whew, always leave yourself an out.
That's a 5, and that's a 12.
Okay. With your assistance, modulating the shields to mitigate the effects of the interference, Halal manages to bring the ship down relatively close, almost on top of the Tesla, and you guys land about 20 meters from the wreckage.
It did crash then?
Yes, it does appear to have crashed.
Can we tell from what angle it's entered from the drag path, or did it come straight down?
Well, you hop out. You'd have to get out of the shuttle to take a closer look.
Fair enough. I will first use the sensors to check to see if there are any life forms in the area.
You can go ahead and roll reason plus science.
Can the shuttlecraft assist, or is that only the main ship?
The shuttlecraft can, but its systems are much weaker, so you're only rolling an 8.
Gentlemen, we have a problem. I rolled a 20
Excellent.
and a 7.
20 and a 7. Okay, so you're not getting any life form readings in the immediate vicinity, though you are reading a power fluctuation in the Tesla's warp core that would lead you to think that it could be gearing up for a catastrophic explosion.
Captain, the warp core of the Tesla is unstable. If it explodes on planet, it will... I'm pretty sure that matter and antimatter explosions, like, destroy continents. Sorry, out of character, because I don't...
The ship is small enough that it's not going to level a continent, but it would be very bad for this particular area and the environment around it.
And we're in range of the capital?
You're not close enough for that because it's a Raven class science vessel. It's only designed for 6 or 7 people on it.
Okay.
At any given time.
How much time do we have to stabilize it?
You'd have to get out to go look.
Did we bring an engineer with us?
I will do what
Last
I
time we
can.
had space. No, we didn't have that PC in the game.
Darn it.
Halal looks at you like, I took an extension course at the academy on engineering.
Excellent, thank you.
Is there an engineer in the house?
So as you exit the shuttle, you're looking at the wreckage of the Tesla. It is lying in the burnt remains of the forest around it. The forest has been leveled for about 50 meters around the wreckage. And judging by the way it came down nose first and slammed into the forest from that angle.
Okay.
The crew cabin appears to be mostly intact. Now, it is a small civilian science version of the Raven-class science vessel. You guys do a quick examination of the surrounding area. You do find 2 recent graves. Tricorder scans reveal the body of a human and the other of an Andorian, which you're guessing are crew members from the Tesla.
Captain, there are 2 graves here. They do appear to be fresh, relatively recent. Can I tell how old they are?
Not especially.
However, we cannot leave the remains. If they were disinterred, then it would lead the local population to know of the existence of other civilizations and that they had been visited at one point.
Lieutenant, I do not see how there are grave robbers in the vicinity. Leads one to the assumption that there are people from outer space.
I think okay. Let's find the living first. See if we can deal with the radiation levels, and then if we can get a transporter working, we can just teleport all this, prime directive breaking evidence off the planet. There are no locals, as far as we can tell, in the vicinity. So let's just try and quickly find the living, find out what happened to them, and then we'll go from there.
What about the warp core breach?
Warp core breach also.
The warp core is a high priority.
Yes.
Agreed, Captain. That is logical. I was simply stating that for future reference, we will also need to remove this evidence as well, as much as I know your species does not like to disinter the dead.
We will have to see whether that is necessary.
Also, I was not contemplating the possibility of grave robbers, only that they might be unearthed by natural processes such as animals or local tectonic movements that would reveal the bodies that are clearly not Lemurian. However, it is logical that we should investigate the crash site first. So, I will head to the Tesla and begin scanning with my tricorder, which I have.
I'm also does my medical tricorder do any? No, it'd be a regular tricorder. Wait, what have I got?
No, you have a medical tricorder. Yeah. Yours is configured for medical scanning.
Mm-hmm.
Looking around through the ship, the Tesla has survived heavy damage. Despite that, as you guys dig into the ship and look around, evidently you got a false reading from your sensors on the warp core. The warp core has been shut down.
Oh, thank
Oh, that's helpful. Wait, but if we got a false reading indicating that the warp core is about to explode, and the warp core has been shut down, then where do those energy signals come from?
Could this be more shenanigans from the thingy?
It could be interference from the planet's magnetosphere. You're not entirely sure.
Thank goodness.
Emergency power is still running aboard the ship, so the lights are on. The replicators are still working if you needed to replicate something. However, the ship is damaged beyond repair. Even if you were to bring supplies down from the Bellerophon, this ship will never fly again.
Right. So the important thing is the people.
I'd like to Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was going to like to access the ship's logs and see what was going on in the up to and including the crash, probably up to 6 days before.
I'd like to look around the ship for other people who are alive.
Okay.
Hi! Hello, does anyone need a doctor? Hi!
You go to access the logs and the data cores, and they are missing. They have been removed.
Captain, the data cores have been removed from this vessel.
And again, while you're looking around for people, most of the personal effects have also been removed.
So these were Federation scientists, not necessarily Starfleet?
Correct. These are Federation citizens. These are not necessarily members of Starfleet, as far as you know.
And correct me if I'm wrong, there's no sign of a struggle or anything. It seems like they packed up things and left.
That would be your best guess.
The damage, is it consistent with the crash, or was there damage previous to the crash that to the Tesla.
You can go ahead and roll me a reason plus science check.
I can do that. Seven and 14.
It's a little hard to tell with the amount of damage that the Tesla sustained, but it doesn't look like anything was caused. You don't see any signature impacts of any weapons that you're familiar with. It looks like something happened and the ship crash landed, is your best guess.
Right. I'm looking. It's not necessarily battle damage I'm looking for. I'm looking for damage inconsistent with a crash, like something was smashed beforehand, or like when you break a window and the glass on the outside, you broke it from the inside or whatever. So this thing smashed into the planet and crumpled like a tin can. I'm looking for damage inconsistent with that impact and crumpling.
No, it appears to have impacted and crumpled.
And no other damage other than that. I mean, it was a shit ton of damage. Nothing.
Not that you can tell from looking at it, and your tricorder is helping, but the electromagnetic interference is causing more havoc with your sensors.
Captain, it does not appear that the ship was damaged before it crashed. Most of the damage appears to be done on impact with planets. I cannot currently formulate a logical hypothesis for why this ship crashed.
I will look over the ship myself just to see if I can get any sense of why the ship might have crashed.
Looking around the ship, there's no evidence of what caused the crash. You're not sure if it was an internal issue of navigation went wrong, or if something went wrong with something inside the computer systems. You're not sure if they hit something, but something caused a crash, and you're incapable of determining what that was.
Okay.
Especially with the information that Kareth has already discovered.
I would like to inspect the warp engines to see if they were disabled post-crash or pre-crash with planet.
You can roll reason plus science.
9 and 10.
9 and 10. It looks like they were turned off before the ship crashed.
Captain, the warp engines were disabled before the crash occurred. Whatever
Your
happened.
best guess for that would be because had they been on when the ship crash landed, it probably would have exploded catastrophically.
Whatever happened, the Tesla's crew was not surprised that it happened. They knew they were going down long enough to shut down the engines before they crashed. Otherwise, the engines would have likely destroyed a good portion of the local landscape.
Hey, the internal security systems are on.
Oh, well,
Thank you, President Halal. Is there
video? Or did that go with the data cores?
I think that went with the data core, but the sensors are on and they're transmitting.
to where?
So they know we're here.
I'm not entirely sure where they're going. I can't make heads or tails of this of these readings.
Okay. Can I look around the ship and maybe outside around the ship for like a trail, whether it's footprints or drag lines, or even just a note saying, "Hey, Federation people, we went this way." Or is it somehow evidence in what they left on?
You're on your way out to go take a look around and do so, and
CSI Federation.
you are about to start your CSI Federation approach, and then a sudden breeze stirs up ash from the crash site as several flyers come out of the cover of the trees and settle on the ground nearby. Each one disgorges a half a dozen humanoids. They all have slight of build and on average shorter than humans. They're covered in a light coat of fur with large lemur-like eyes. They move with graceful agility as they point energy weapons of some kind in your direction.
Captain.
This is a late 21st century.
Mid 21st century. They haven't discovered warp engines yet, but they're close.
Correct. Are the weapons consistent or inconsistent with that level of technology? I'm thinking inconsistent, but we did technically have some kind of energy weapons.
Energy weapons aren't unbelievable at this particular tech level.
Energy weapons are unbelievable at this particular tech level.
No. It's entirely possible that they would have energy weapons.
Lasers can predate warp engines.
I mean, we already have visitors.
I take it that I got the update about the people who have flown in.
Being a
Well,
Ferengi
Gen
with
is the only one who noticed them first because Gen's Ferengi ears picked up the sounds of the engines coming and was outside looking around.
So can I get back on the ship before the locals land?
Yes.
Okay. Incoming, Captain. We've got locals incoming. Oh,
What?
a bunch of locals. Short lemur humanoids. What do we do? I
Captain,
close the door behind me.
There's not really a door to close, as if
Oh.
there's an open hatchway where the door was blasted out from the from whenever they exited the ship. The emergency door is open, basically.
Mm.
Lieutenant Gareth?
Captain, if they are allowed onto the ship, it could cause irreparable damage to their sociological evolution.
Well, Lieutenant Gareth, despite your concerns, I'm afraid that the game is up. We are going to be discovered. And they are going to discover that something has been, that either the ship or us or both. Therefore, that
Lieutenant
game is
Halal
played.
chuckling.
Hmm?
Lieutenant Halal is laughing about something.
Oh, what's so funny?
Monkey
Lieutenant Halal?
people.
Huh?
Monkey people.
Captain, there is
You're not
an
wrong.
option.
Yes.
If we were to bring the workforce back online, we could initiate the self-destruct sequence. It would destroy this ship and probably a good area around it, but it would prevent the knowledge of this ship and its contents from getting back to the local authorities.
Could also kill a whole bunch of locals.
I believe that killing a whole bunch of locals, in fact, breaches the Prime Directive significantly more than allowing them to know that there is a ship here. It also fails. It also causes great harm in the guise of doing great good.
Captain, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. If there were simply just these locals who were destroyed in this thing, it would prevent greater damage to the overall structure of their society, and therefore would be for the greater good.
Captain, they're getting closer to the ship.
I believe also the point is moot. How much time do we have?
Before they're at the ship, minute and a half, maybe.
They have already seen the ship. We are not going to murder a bunch of locals in order to hide the presence of a crashed ship.
Your order, Captain.
And this is Federation, so there are no stealth capabilities on this ship.
No, the ship does not have a cloaking device or anything of the sort.
Captain, I believe the universal translator might be able to be hooked up to the exterior of the ship if you'd like to try and warn the locals off.
Perhaps instead we should emerge and talk to the locals.
I take that back. There probably aren't speakers on the outside of a spaceship. Never mind.
Why would there be speakers on the outside of the spaceship? There's no air in space.
Well, no,
Sorry.
but this is a terrestrial vehicle, though. I mean, this is a atmospheric travel vehicle, so there could be. I mean, Captain, if you want to translate, like, this is an experimental ship that has suffered a catastrophic problem, please stay away.
I believe the most popular version back on terrestrial Earth was swamp gas.
Yeah, this is a crashed weather balloon. Do not come any closer or the weather balloon will bite. Sometime, what is it, when it's good for business, tell the truth. However, rule of acquisition 212, a good lie is easier to believe than the truth. So I think they'd be far more likely to justify, oh, this is something from us that got borked in transit, especially if they perceive us as speaking their language. They don't believe in aliens, hopefully.
I do not believe that we'll be able to convince them not to enter the ship, sadly.
Can we at least try?
Very well. Is there in fact a speaker on the ship such that we can talk to them without revealing our visages? Alternatively, I assume that there is not a holo projector that we could use to disguise ourselves as locals.
If there was a holo projector, it probably went down when the ship went down. As for an external speaker, it was also damaged in the crash. Hello. You hear a voice from outside.
Do we understand through our universal translators?
The person is capable of being understood, whether it's the universal translator or they're speaking Federation English, you're not sure.
Fair. I would like them. If they're speaking Federation English, we have a bigger problem on our hands.
Hello, I am Captain Thema.
Cap, you're up.
Greetings, I'm Captain Reese.
If you are looking for your scientist friends, they are safe at the capital city of Lore. If you would like to see them, please come with us.
Captain.
I believe the game is up.
Rule of acquisition number 4: sedition and treason are always profitable. Well, there we go.
I think we should go with them.
It is I'm sorry. It is no longer logical to conceal ourselves if the Prime Directive has already been breached. However, I do think that it would behoove us to keep the most human appearing members to the party, to the fore. If Lieutenant Gann and I were to stay back and Captain Reese were to accompany them, they would at least not know. Nope, they got a trill. Never mind.
Yeah, none of us look like lemurs.
None of us look like lemurs, Lieutenant.
None of us are that cute.
No, I was simply attempting to limit their exposure to other species in addition to humans, because the Tesla's crew was mostly human.
I mean,
However,
one of them was also an Andorian, so if they saw...
The Andorian was buried. However, the Trill, which I believe is a somewhat unique looking species.
Trills look like humans, but with spots.
All counters with, excuse me, I'm adorable. I don't know what you're talking about.
What?
You really are the cutest.
Who said?
You are so cute. Our driver.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The pilot said it. Yes, you are, sweetie. You are the cutest.
I am not contesting or affirming your level of attractiveness to humans and human adjacents. However, I am suggesting that perhaps if we limit the local culture's exposure to species other than humans, we would limit the damage, hopefully, to the prime from the
Lieutenant, I am far more interested in the damage caused to the Prime Directive by a high energy power source and by the existing scientific team than I am by them being aware that there exist Smallfoots out in the world.
Like, yeah, we have
of
to...
other varieties they already know.
We came here to ascertain damage, and that includes the Prime Directive now, which has already been done. However, I just in case, like I said, a good lie is easier to believe than the truth. It's possible we are being captured right now rather than brought along, so I'm going to keep my ears open, but my mouth shut to minimize more Prime Directive damage. So, anyway.
An excellent thought, Lieutenant Chen. Let us emerge.
Again.
Again.
By your order, Captain.
Thank you. I believe we emerge.
Just had to bring the Vulcan.
Unless somebody wants to stay back to be our ace in the hole for when we're captured, I think we're all going out. Possibly the pilot could stay back if they don't have any way of knowing there. Just so that we have somebody who is not walking directly into the lion's den, if you would.
Just as a question, you would like to leave the Starfleet personnel who has psychosis issues.
Yeah,
often
that was my
calls-
other thought.
Yeah.
Let's not do that.
I
I-
did not do that.
If I may suggest, Captain, I believe that if Lieutenant Halal was to stay back and take the shuttle back to the Bellerophon once we have departed with the locals, then that we might be able to apprise the ship of what is going on and also communicate further. If they could then take the ship shuttle back as they track us through our communicators, then
They can't track us to our communicators because of the
we can't
interference.
communicate using the communicators. However, they can still track them.
Maybe.
They are able to pick up signals from the surface, at least to some degree.
Additionally, it would allow Lieutenant to go back to the Bellerophon and then perhaps come down and near the energy source with another away team if necessary.
That is an excellent idea. Lieutenant, can you return, stay hidden here, return to the ship, and then come back in, say, 24 hours,
There's an issue with that.
which is?
The security sensors aboard the ship are operational, which means they know how many of us there are in here.
Then let us
Have
all
you-
go.
Did you determine that the security systems were transmitting to them?
We know they're
No, but I have no
transmitting to the
idea where they're
scientists.
transmitting. Logic would indicate that they're transmitting to someone to somewhere, which may be how they found us in within 20 minutes of us landing here.
Correct.
An excellent point,
However-
Lieutenant. Let us all go.
Let's go.
You emerge from the ship. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Lieutenant Halal, if you start feeling a little off, just let me know.
I'll keep you informed.
Okay. I don't have training in counseling, but, you know. Ship
That's
stuff.
okay. Counselors are boring.
Yeah. They are.
Captain Thema, your weapons, please.
Are we being captured then?
No, but we do not wish you to have weapons within our capital headquarters, as that could lead you to a position where you would attack us. And we do not know you very well as a species, or group of species.
I'm a science officer. The equipment I carry is necessary for the local survey. What survey one? I'm sorry. Out of character.
I-
I'm bad at words, and I apologize.
Investigation?
For the for investigating local environments.
I hand over my phaser.
I will try to arrest that because I want to at least.
I'm a doctor,
Um,
not a mercenary.
I'm sorry, I cannot. Do not hand over your phaser. I'm sorry, we
Okay.
cannot give you our weapons. Their technology well beyond your species and might damage your development. We are willing to leave them on our shuttle, locked, rather than place them in your possession. If that is sufficient.
That would be agreeable.
That is logical.
Sounds good to me.
We do so.
I leave my phaser on some shuttle.
Okay.
I mean, lock our faces away, but
Yep.
we're not giving them to the Lemurians.
We are not giving them the phasers.
Captain, do you mind if I bring my medical equipment with me just in case there are things that they can't fix?
Please.
Okay. All right. Take us to your leader. Or
Okay.
our leaders, or somewhat. Yeah. Okay, let's go.
All right. You are taken to the Lormian Central Headquarters. It is a massive building with high ceilings and glass walls that, upon closer inspection, are made of opaque amber.
Ooh.
You're taken into a room that overlooks the city and the dense misty forest beyond. The most striking thing about the building is that it is actually an enormous living tree. And in fact, almost all the Lormian dwellings appear to be made out of living trees. They appear to be naturally grown inside the trunks of the trees, and soft moss lines the floors rather than carpeting. As you are brought into this room, the 4 surviving scientists are here, and they excitedly greet you. Hooray! Also, the head of the Lormian government is here and greets you as well. Dr. Emmett Sherman is the lead scientist of the project, and he's very happy to see all of you.
Dr. Sherman, I'm glad of your survival. I'm sorry for the loss of your comrades.
Well, we were cataloging spatial anomalies, and we were struck by an unexpected gravitic wave, or gravimetric wave, that damaged the ship's warp drive as well as the other systems, including comms. We managed to limp here and tried to set down, but the damage to the ship was too great, and we crashed.
Sadly.
The captain died attempting to patch together the warp drive, and our Andorian friend died during the crash. I took command of it after Captain Forrest's death.
And the records, I noticed they were removed from the ship.
The Lormians detected the crash, and they arrived soon after. We opted to accompany the Lormians back to the capital city in hopes of a way to contact the Federation.
But what happened to the logs?
They came with us.
May I review them?
There are more pressing matters right now.
Please.
Do any of you need medical attention?
No, the Lormians were nice enough to patch us up as best they could. We survived the crash mostly unharmed.
I believe there was a mention of more pressing matters.
Yeah.
I would like to know about.
So what is?
So the head of the Lormian government, Chief Minister Terrell, cuts in. We need your help. Oregon 3 is suffering from severe geological distress, and the electromagnetic disturbances are wreaking havoc on their planetary communication systems. Major earthquakes have become common, and they estimate the planet will break apart within 2 weeks.
Would
They don't understand what's causing this. They don't understand why. They're hoping that you can use your shuttlecraft to attempt to determine the cause.
Captain, I believe this may be the
The thing.
energy source detected 5 kilometers north of the capital.
Yes. We did detect an energy source that was not native to this place. Are you to your planet? Are you aware of it?
We're not aware of anything of the sort. No.
So it is possible that that is related to this destabilization.
Sure. Are we and our the people we've come to rescue, are we the first aliens your species has encountered on your planet? And
Yes.
what is the Star Trek Adventures equivalent of an insight check?
That would be.
Because I am a damn Ferengi.
Insight plus command, I guess?
If I'm allowed to initiate rolls. Insight command?
You can do insight security.
Oh.
So that's a 10. Not too bad. What does adding a value do to my roll again?
Adding a value. Make sure I remember correctly. Before I tell you the wrong thing. A value will let you use determination to add free dice if you really wanted to.
Okay. Alright. Because, oh, okay. But I don't think I need to add 3 dice to this, so... 'Cause again, a good lie is easier to believe than the truth, so she wants to know if they're selling them a bill of goods, or if they really don't know what's going on. Because they seem awfully calm for having discovered several different species of aliens today. Or how long ago did the shuttle crash, the Tesla crash, as far as we know?
3 or 4 days.
Okay, so they're pretty calm for meeting so many aliens in 3 or 4 days. Or they might just be a calm species. We've only just met them. So roll 2d.
Or it might be a matter of relative calm, given that they know their planet's about to be destroyed.
That too. Okay, so that's roll 2 d20s and get under a 10.
Correct.
I got a 5 and a 14.
The 5 will give you a success, which is all you need. They're more concerned about the imminent destruction of their planet and their entire species than they are the fact that they're aliens.
Okay, so instead of 212, this is more rule 100. When it's good for business, tell the truth. Okay, we good.
They do have a plan.
Ooh,
to evacuate their people off of Oregon 3 to Oregon 2.
That
All
would
right.
be a suboptimal outcome. Additionally, we could not support. Do they have ships of their own?
They
It's
do. They have
their
some
it's their
vessels.
own ships. That's totally reasonable.
With their own technology, they may be able to get a few hundred safely, but now with more help from the scientists, and now that there's a starship in orbit, they can rescue far, far more. A few hundred will not provide enough genetic diversity, and the Lormians will come to an end as a species.
However, it would be most optimal if we stopped the quakes before they happened.
Yep.
It
I would
would
like-
be better.
I would like to review the most recent logs of the Tesla, as I assume that their sensors were still working while they were limping in orbit. Given-
They didn't have a lot of time they limped into orbit and then they crashed.
All right. So what we need to do is go to the point of energy trouble and investigate it. I look at Dr. Sherman. Did you guys manage to notice the big weird energy signature on this planet that wasn't native? Or
We didn't
crashed
have
before that?
our sensors were down by the time we got here.
Okay. Yeah. So,
Understandable, you were a little busy. Are you planning to stay with our hosts while we're working on investigating this, or would you like a lift back to our ship?
We're going to attempt to help the Lorbians with their.
With their evacuation plans, absolutely.
all right. Do you need any more patching up before I go off with my captain?
No.
Okay. Yeah, the irony here is that Kareth is very knowledgeable of tectonic activity, but we can't read anything while whatever that thing is on.
So without suggesting it to them, do they in fact insist that they send an observer along with us on this investigation rather than letting a bunch of aliens try to investigate stuff on their planet on their own?
No, the Lormians will send along one of their own as an observer.
Fair. I thought they might want to do that.
It would be most logical to take our shuttle to the power source location. For one, it will give us access to weapons again. For another, it will give us a quick getaway if such a thing is required. For a third, it would be the quickest way to get there.
That is entirely possible.
So wait, so the Lieutenant Kareth, your plan is to do what again?
Oh, we would go get our shuttle, Captain. And take our shuttle to the location of the power source
yes.
as opposed to one of the local craft.
Very
That's
well.
it.
Did we get here on one of their shuttles?
Yes, they brought you in one of their flyers.
All right.
All right.
And what's the name of their observer?
Captain Thema is coming along.
Oh, Captain Thema is coming along. All right.
You start to mention your shuttlecraft, and one of the minister nods to one of his aides, and within 20 minutes, your shuttle is landing on their landing platform.
Did I was rather under the impression that out of character, did we forget to leave the locks on?
No, you lock the ship.
Apparently, they have someone decent in security.
Oh, wait. I was typing in chat. What happened?
The
Is there-
Lormians brought your shuttlecraft to you.
Okay.
They flew our shuttlecraft to us, more importantly.
So right now the Vulcan is fuming.
Right.
That would be illogical.
Of course, totally illogical. Vulcans don't fume.
So wait. So what's the title of the head of the scientific of the scientists?
Dr. Sherman.
Dr. Sherman, while you're helping them, could you also attempt a survey of their current capabilities and how close they are to no longer being subject to the Prime Directive?
They're 6 or 7 years away from having warp travel.
6 or 7 years. Thank you. Thank you. Doctor.
Could have been worse. Okay. Okay. Well, let's go turn off this switch thing. Okay.
While we are in the air, I would like to attempt to make more readings of the planet, specifically the surface and whatever I can reach with my tricorder. Given that
You
I'm
can
within the
you can use the
The ship sensors.
telecom sensors. They're probably more powerful than your tricorder.
then I will do so.
Okay. Reason plus science.
How does assisting work? Because my reason plus science is not as good as theirs, but still pretty good.
You can assist by diverting additional power to the sensors by making a control plus engineering task, or even you can coordinate the search efforts by rolling presence plus command.
Control engineering is 11. Presence command is a 10. All right, so control engineering it is.
Okay.
So I roll 2 dice for an 11.
Yes. The captain can
Oh,
also attempt the
I
presence plus
fail.
command task.
Sure. I will attempt the presence command test.
I fail. 15 and a 17.
Okay.
You go dice jail for 1,000 years. Okay. Right, other D20s are up.
And that is an 8 and a 12. The 12 is sadly not a success. Presence plus command is 11. But the 8 is 2 successes, I think.
With my 15, I have rolled a 12 and a 1.
Okay. So you succeed spectacularly. You generate 2 additional momentum on top of the one that you already have in your pool. Would you like to spend any of your momentum for more information?
I would like to spend 1 momentum for more information, please.
Okay. You know that the power source is underground. It is at a depth of a. Oh, let's check and see real quick. Uh, 5 kilometers beneath the surface. The entrance is in a series of natural caverns leading to the energy source. But other than that, you're not sure what type of energy this is. It's not something you're familiar with.
I was also looking for information on the local tectonics, geography.
Whatever this energy source is causing tectonic instability and making life very, very complicated. It's probably what's going to destroy the planet if this machine isn't fixed or turned off or what have you.
You don't know what kind of energy this is. How is that even possible? I mean, is it magnetic energy? Is it? If you can detect it, you should be able to know at least vaguely what kind of energy.
Does it give
It's
off heat?
It's an electromagnetic energy field of some kind.
However, the signature is unknown to me and unfamiliar to any we have recorded in the database.
Yeah, the Federation has not encountered this particular type of technology before.
Very well attended.
So it's either very, very new, very, very alien, or very, very old.
Could be a combination of all 3.
It couldn't.
Well, yeah, new to us. Could be old to everyone else. Anyway, yep.
But the odds against that are very high unless we're actually on an episode.
Infinite diversity and infinite combination.
It's the impossible jar that they have in engineering. Oh, you don't know about so anytime an engineer says something is impossible, they have to put their name in the impossible jar. So then when something really tedious comes up, they go to the impossible jar for whoever's working on it. Another Ferengi invented that. It was awesome. Anyway.
That does not seem to be a logical way to apportion engineering tasks. It would be most logical to apportion them to the people who are most suited for them.
It would seem that the incentive for there would be for engineers to say impossible less often, and that they don't seem to.
Anyway.
So, your shuttle comes down near the caverns.
It is too large to fit inside the caverns?
Yeah, the entrance is far too small. And even if you could fit inside the entrance of the caverns are far too narrow for a ship to navigate through.
I will attempt to scan and see if I can get a map of the caverns in so much as I can get.
Hey guy who lives here. What is your name? Mr. Local
Thema.
person?
Captain
Captain Thema.
Thema. Captain Thema is a lady.
Oh, ooh. Captain Thema, do you have any kind of predatory species or large problem animals that might be hanging out in caves that we need to look out for? Or any other kind of local dangers aside from the tectonic activity that's screwing everything up?
No, we do not have any natural predators on this continent.
Okay, just checking.
I will take my tricorder out and begin taking scans of the local caverns.
Okay. You're not going to be able to scan a very far distance in because of the materials of this cavern. There again, and there's electromagnetic interference messing with your scanners. But you can sort of figure out where you are in relation to where you started. But
That
a
would be
comprehensive
sufficient.
map is not available.
Mapping is sufficient in that fashion.
And you can scan as we go. Then
That was my plan.
and we enter.
Okay. In what order are you traveling?
I will be at the front because I am scanning.
I will be at the middle. We can have Captain Thema, Thema, third, and Lieutenant.
Healer in the back.
Yes, Lieutenant Gen will be in the back.
Gen.
Gen, Lieutenant Gen will be in the back. I do not mispronounce your name all the time.
So even though I'm in the back of the line, since this is a cave and caves are prone to echo, we can't read this interference for anything. Do I hear anything mechanical or generaty sounding, engine like?
Well, you're
Angry.
5 kilometers from the
5 kilometers. Okay, but
so
I'm not
yet.
So it's not so strong that it's reverberating an actual physical vibration through this cave system.
Not at this distance yet, no.
Okay, well I'm still keeping my ears open.
Okay.
Because given the interference, I might pick up something before our tricorders do.
It's very possible. Are you bringing Lieutenant Halal into the cavern with you, or are you leaving her on the shuttlecraft?
I think we're going to, given the communication difficulties, I think it's better that we bring her with us,
Yeah.
just in case her expertise is needed.
How many hours have we been on this adventure?
That's a good question.
About 4.
Okay, so 16 to 20 hours. We're good for a while.
Yeah.
I will note that Vulcans also have advanced hearing, though perhaps not as advanced as a Frankie. I'm not sure on that one.
Halal was making jokes about monkeys, and technically we're from bats, so. Or so I've heard. So I've read, or not read, so I've seen on TV.
And Lieutenant's people are related to what again?
Lemurs! They're so cute and fluffy.
Well, Thema was related to lemurs. I'm not sure about Halal.
Halal species has characteristics of insects,
Because
in that they have antennae like Andorians, but that's the only real characteristic that would identify them as bug-like.
Well, plus the hive mind thing.
Yeah. So the caverns, as you enter them, they are very narrow. There are sudden drop-offs and sharp bends and turns, and it is an absolute pain to climb down and through. You guys are navigating your way through. We're about to hit our 7:30 break. If you all would like to go ahead and do that now, we can go ahead and take that break, and then we will pick up right where we are.
That sounds logical.
commercial break.
Engage.
So we'll be back in 10 minutes. We'll see you then.
Okay, and okay, check for audio.
Checking.
Awesome! It works!
Yay!
Welcome back, chat. We're continuing on with Decision Point, a Star Trek Adventures adventure from our good friends at Modiphius.
Yay,
Just to
Chucky.
recap, the crew of the USS Bellerophon has found their way to Organ 3, chasing down the remnants of a Federation science vessel that crash landed on the planet. They have found what's left of the crew of that ship. However, the Prime Directive seems to have been minorly adjusted during the process. However, the crew has a more important task ahead of them, trying to figure out what's destabilizing the planet and causing this particular planet's imminent destruction. We join them now in progress in the caverns, leading their way towards whatever this machine is that's doing this.
We're assuming it's a machine.
You're hoping it's a machine.
Captain, my readings are sporadic, but it does appear that we are going in the correct direction.
Excellent. Thank you, Lieutenant.
I will continue to scan.
We'll go ahead and roll me reason plus science.
I can do that.
Widdly wee. Widdly wee.
11 and 12. Captain, this entire planet is made of widdly wee. Sorry.
That is not true. However, the tunnel you're about to go through is unstable and is potential for a collapse.
Captain, this particular tunnel is unstable and will possibly collapse in the near future. However, if we manage to maintain our speed and silence, then we should be able to get through without triggering a tectonic event.
Well, then we'll have to make sure to speak only in low tones and to get there as quickly as possible.
How long is this stretch of the cave?
20 meters.
Okay, so you just not talk for 20 meters.
I realize this may be difficult for you, Lieutenant Gann, but we'll have to do it as best we can.
Okay.
I am sure Lieutenant Kara, it will be difficult for all of us. Now, let's go.
As you say, Captain.
You all hear a low-level buzz of energy, and you can hear music playing.
What kind?
You've never heard the song before, but it's "We're Not Gonna Take It Anymore," and you're not sure where it's playing from.
I look at Lieutenant Halal. Just make sure, check on them. Are they okay?
She gives you a look like what?
Oh, okay.
Strange.
Although as you look at it a little more closely, it does seem like her antennae are focused on something, which isn't something that you've seen her do before. They're focused on something.
Lieutenant, have you noticed something?
No.
Strange. I would not have thought classical music from Terra would have been present on this planet.
But it's an energy signature that we're not familiar with.
Who said anything about Terrans?
Well, one of their classical songs is playing somewhere.
No. Terrans are from the Mirror Universe. Humans are from
Oh,
Earth.
humans. Sorry. Yeah. That is
But
correct.
I was
As
talking
Halal
about
reaches for that knife that's in the back of her, under her, the back of her uniform jacket. Like, where's a Terran? Where?
Yeah, it's lore. Earth is Earth. Terra is Mirror Universe Earth, which is evil.
I totally did not.
then how do they deal with Terra Incognita?
What is that?
The unknown land. It literally a Latin phrase. Very popular.
In Federation speech, they don't refer to Earth as Terra.
Earth is
So
Earth.
You'll have to ask Gene Roddenberry.
I
Then-
believe I would expect that Terra Firma and Terra Incognita would still exist, but the planet is Earth.
The planet is Earth, not Terra.
So
Terra just
classical
refers to
earthical
Earth.
music then?
Classical human music.
Right. Classical earthical music. I would not have expected it to be playing on this planet.
Yeah, it's
Nor would I. It is very curious.
human music, but it's not an energy signature we're familiar with.
Still,
Well,
the
perhaps-
Earth
Halal focuses for a second, and her antennae go back down, and the music stops playing.
All right, that's curious.
Did you do that? I asked Halal.
Did I do what?
Did you turn the music off, or
I turned off the broadcast. Yes.
You did.
do you have earbuds in, Lieutenant?
No.
Can you perhaps tell me a little bit more about this broadcast, Lieutenant?
Oh no, I can pick. There's a psionic energy signature within orbit of this planet.
That seems like relevant information.
Other
Is it,
than
is it
us?
related to this energy source?
No, it's not related to this energy source at all.
But it is related to the song that was playing.
Yes.
Fascinating.
Does it seem like Halal is providing different information than she normally would? That is she not herself in some way, or is she just always a little cryptic?
Halal doesn't like talking about her species. And
Right.
you remember, you think about it for a second, you remember that there was a war on her homeworld about 30 odd years ago between her species and another species?
I see.
And you remember the Klingons got involved? And no one's really sure what happened with what caused that war, what triggered it. But the Zindarians are very, very, very not talkative about it. The Klingons will only talk about the fighting. And they had a great time at it.
Right. Halal, walk with me for a moment.
This cave is unstable. We should probably move.
Very well.
And
Let
not
us talk about this after we have gotten through the cave, as quickly and quietly as possible.
All right. You navigate your way through that particular section of unstable tunnel. And you are, again, navigating your way through narrow cutoffs and dead drops and bends and turns, and this thing is a nightmare to navigate. However, the tricorder is helping a lot. Yes, Captain?
Yes?
You wanted to...
Yes, please. I understand that you are reluctant to talk about certain things relating to your species. However, if it is relevant to this mission in any way, you are going to tell me about it, whether you need to do so in confidence or not, yes?
If it were relevant, I would have already told you about it.
Is it something that I need to know as your captain?
No.
If that changes, please inform me.
Oh, if my eyes turn black and I start salivating, I would run.
You're saying, is that what's happening, or that's what she says?
No, that's what she says.
Fair enough, Lieutenant.
And I hear all this being a Ferengi.
Yes.
So just like, okay.
Okay, we come back.
Lieutenant, if you require assistance of a psychic nature, it would be most logical for me to provide what I can for you, given that you are the pilot and the engineering resource for this mission.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to let you anywhere near my brain.
That is your choice.
Good talk, though.
However, I will say that it would be most logical to be... Sorry, I'm trying to think this through. Never mind, forget I said anything.
Okay.
Alright.
Sorry. The one player who's had trouble from thinking things through is one who immediately picks the most logical one, naturally.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I pat Lieutenant Halal discreetly on the arm. Gotta love that Vulcan sensitivity.
Yeah, about that. Paul kind of looks at you for a second and says, nah, not worth it. And continues in the wherever their particular portion of the lineup is. Captain Thema is watching you all like you are some combination of confused and or disturbed.
Like they are, or like we are?
like you are.
I mean, we are completely alien to her, so.
Captain Thema, do you have something to say?
No, but you do seem to have lost track of what the actual objective of today is, and that is to figure out what this is and stop it, as opposed to whatever this is.
That is the objective. However, if when we have something strange going on that is going to be relevant to our mission, whether or potentially relevant to our mission, whether or not we know about it,
A wise man
or
can
whether
hear.
or not
A wise man can hear prophets on the wind. We have to investigate every weirdness once there is an overarching weirdness.
Hmm.
We're thorough. I promise you, we do get results.
It is
Very
not
good.
logical to assume that any particular phenomenon is not related to the present one at hand, or that it will not adversely affect mission readiness. If we reach the device underneath the Earth's crust and are incapable, at a point of reaching it, of dealing with what it is, then it would not be helpful for us to be there. If we do not reach the machine in a state where we can deal with it, we might as well stay to the surface at that point and help with the evacuation.
Well, let's hope it doesn't come to that.
Indeed.
You continue navigating your way through the caverns, and you come into another open set of crevasses, and there are steam vents just venting hot, angry gas into this chamber.
According to the tricorders, it's still breathable.
It's 200 some degrees Celsius.
that's a lot.
So, kind of.
All right. Is there a way to either work around it or potentially clear it enough for us to be able to get through safely?
You might be able to time it out and get through when it's not venting, but that would take some scientific know-how.
I will roll for it then. Science plus reason?
Yes.
And I can spend 1 point of momentum to get an extra dice, right?
Yes.
Then I will do so. All right, we have a 4, a 6, and a 2 against 15.
Okay. You have successfully timed the steam vents. In order to cross the cavern, it becomes a control plus security task.
Oh, joy. For each person?
Yes.
Okay.
Question. So Lieutenant Kareth spent momentum on that roll. How does that affect untapped potential?
Let's check again real quick, and I will give you an answer. That's not the right button.
Character succeeds.
Roll 1 what?
Roll a condition die. So roll a d6 for me.
Okay. Sorry. The document just says 1, and I'm just like,
Yeah, the particular gizmo did not copy correctly.
that's a 4.
Let me check again. You do not get any bonus momentum for it.
Okay.
And the condition dice are listed on the link that's been dropped in our little chat.
Great, thank you.
On the quick reference document. So, who would like to go first crossing the steam vents of death?
Well, given the danger, I would hardly ask my crew to go first on this, because none of us are specialists at this. So this is going to be what? Fitness. You said fitness plus con?
Control plus security.
Okay.
The difficulty is 2.
Oh, that's hard. In that case, sure. I will use. I'm going to add. I'm going to use Spirit of Discovery. Spend Determination to add 3 points of momentum to our pool, which I believe should bring it up to 6.
Which value are you using to do so?
Starfleet is the guardian of prosperity in the galaxy. If we don't get through this, we are not helping the prosperity of this planet.
Very good. You've added 3 momentum to the pool.
And I will spend 1 to add to my roll. I suggest people may want to do that because people don't. This is going to be hard, and people don't want to get hurt.
Yep.
I Captain.
Sure. I have a 1 and a 6, as well as a 13.
The 1 counts as 2 successes automatically.
Yep.
And the 6 gives you another point to put back in the pool for momentum.
Right. I believe I'm also rolling an effect die on this because I spent momentum because of untapped potential.
Yes.
That's a 2.
A 2, you say.
I haven't found this chart yet. So.
It's about halfway down the document.
You add 2 momentum back into the pool.
Great.
Remember, your momentum pool caps out at 6.
Because there's 3 of us?
No, just that's the total cap of that momentum.
Okay.
And remember, as you change from scene to scene, your momentum drops by 1.
Hmm.
Good to know.
Shit.
Okay.
So what's the current momentum in the pool?
I believe you were at 6.
Okay.
Okay.
People may want to take into account when making rolls.
So who would like to go next? You have successfully navigated your way across the scene vents.
I'll go next, and I will spend 1 momentum to get an extra dice on my roll.
Okay.
Because I am not particularly good at security, I think.
You might want to spend 3 momentum to add 2 dice, depending. But
Actually, I rolled a 1, so I'm actually doing pretty good. A 1, a 10, and a 15 against 12.
3 successes. So you put back the 1 you put in the pool, and you could roll go ahead and roll a condition die to see if you cause an issue.
Sure thing. 1.
1. You would put another point back in the pool, but you're already at full momentum.
I believe you can spend some before, or is there nothing really to spend on for this?
There's nothing really to spend on it right now.
Okay.
Okay. Tell me again how values work, because I already was asked that and already forgot.
If you can a value would let you use your determination to activate a special ability if you wanted to.
Okay. But I don't have any special abilities that run on, or not necessarily talents, or what?
Determination will let you do one of a few things. Let me remind you what those are in just a second. Okay.
Determination. How do you spend it? Perfect opportunity. You get a bonus d20 that automatically rolls a 1. Moment of inspiration. You can re-roll all your dice. Surge of activity. Make it so. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So I need to declare that I'm using my value now, so I can roll determination if I need to, or I can spend determination if I need to re-roll my dice pool.
Okay. Which value do you think is advantageous to you?
I would argue Rom's Rules of Acquisition, because Rule of Acquisition 15, dead men close no deals.
Fair play.
So that is command security?
I believe that is correct.
Or control security. Oh no, control security, not command. Command is a discipline.
Control plus security, yes.
Yes, so that's an 11. And I can spend a momentum to add 1 extra dice.
Yes.
I will do that. Ugh. A 17, a 12, and a 4. So I got 1 success.
Okay.
Is 1 success enough to not die?
You will take damage.
Oh, damage is kind of rough in the system.
It can be, yes.
All right, I'm going to. All right, so I got at least one success.
Yes.
So I'm going to spend my determination to reroll.
Okay.
Does the second roll ride, or is it whichever one is better?
Second roll rides.
Okay. Do I have to spend another momentum for the third dice, or?
You reroll all the dice that you keep putting.
Okay. Okay, much better. A 1, a 5, and a 17. So that's
Okay.
3 successes.
You cross the. You almost catch yourself in a steam vent there for a moment, but then you manage to catch yourself and navigate across successfully.
Phew.
Halal will cross the field. Halal crosses the field without any incident.
Woo.
And Captain Thema. Captain Thema crosses the field without any incidents. You have successfully navigated your way across the steam vents.
Woohoo.
Congratulations. All right.
Very well.
Finally, you see a light breaking ahead through the darkness ahead of you. Not the dim glow of phosphorescent fungus, but the cold harshness of artificial light. It looks like a cave-in caused a rupture into an artificially carved and lit corridor. The cave-in appears to have destroyed the carved-out tunnel in one direction, and the other ends in a set of sliding metal doors. The tunnel is clearly carved out by a laser mining drill, and its surface is as smooth as glass. Light panels that have no apparent power source line the ceiling.
What do I see with my tricorder?
You see a power source behind the on the other side of the doors, but other than that, you don't get much of a reading.
Can
Is
I?
the power source the one we've been tracking?
You're guessing, yes, but the magnetic interference here is worse than anything you've encountered so far.
Can I hear anything?
You can hear
Machinery.
the hum of you can hear the hum of the whatever this power source is.
Okay. Does it sound like a? It doesn't sound like a warp core.
No.
Okay.
Captain, my tricorder says that there is a large source of power just beyond that door. It is probable that it is the one we have been tracking so far. However, the interference has increased greatly with our proximity to the power source, and my tricorder is no longer giving accurate information beyond a certain distance.
Yeah, I can hear machinery on the other side of the door, but nothing more familiar or specific than that.
Very well. Well, absent any way of determining if there are security measures deployed, I believe we'll have to continue onward.
As you approach the doors, they open.
That's
Has my tricorder gone
polite.
crazy at this point?
Your tricorder is not much help.
Visually inspecting. What is beyond the door?
Small chamber,
Like how small?
like small enough for say 6 or 7 people to stand in.
How convenient.
And short or tall?
It's human-esque sized,
So approximately 10 feet tall.
roughly, give or take.
In the original series, we would have brought 2 crew members along with us just so that one of them could have died in the field of steam and one of them could have been taken out by security before they let us through. Fortunately, it is not the original series.
You brought Captain Thema and Halal. You brought your 2 sacrificial crewmates with you.
I don't
That is also the case.
I don't
They
want to
didn't-
sacrifice
so,
Halal.
Don't want to
It's
sacrifice all.
funny.
Does my tricorder is not much help, but does it indicate any other devices in the room?
Not really.
So there's nothing visible in the room, just it's a room kind of small.
Yes.
Then I'll step into it.
Okay.
I'll
Nothing
follow.
happens. Okay.
And I.
Is
Alright.
it a holodeck? No. Is it a haunted holodeck? No.
No, it is an elevator.
Oh, okay. Everybody getting lift.
There's no buttons or anything to indicate that this is an elevator, but as soon as the 5 of you are inside, it takes off. You're not sure how fast it's going. You're not sure which direction it's going.
That was my question.
Well, I believe that there is intelligence involved in this.
Yeah, Captain. I'm inclined to agree with you.
That is a logical conclusion, Captain.
Even
The elevator doors open. Outside the elevator is a vast underground cavern filled with incredible machinery. The air is hot and dry with an acrid smell. Huge metallic towers covered with lights flicker as charges of electricity play back and forth between them. Between you and the electrified towers is a command center of some kind. Rows of computers and control devices line the walls, and large screens show mostly indecipherable information scrolling past. Occasionally, something flashes across a screen, such as a geographic map of the planet and a model of the solar system.
What is going on here?
There are no other people other than us here, correct?
You are the only people in this room.
I'd like to go to one of the computers and see if I can start deciphering any of the data I'm seeing.
Okay.
Captain Thema, this doesn't happen to be your language, does it?
I have never seen anything like this before in my life.
Okay, just checking.
To decipher the purpose of what's going on is an insight or reason plus science or engineering task.
Reason plus science, I believe, is what I will be using.
Difficulty is 3.
Okay. I will spend 1 momentum, of which we have 5 now because we changed scenes.
That sounds correct.
Okay. I'll use 1 momentum to get another dice in my pool.
Can we help out on this task?
Yes. And if you're assisting, you roll 1 die and add in a bonus. If you
Sure.
succeed.
So sure, I will assist with my reason plus engineering.
Okay.
You said roll 1 die and add in a bonus?
No, add 1 die. If you succeed, you reduce the difficulty by the however many successes you rolled.
Okay. I will spend 1 momentum on my health then.
Okay.
16 and a 2. So I believe I will reduce the difficulty by 1.
That is correct.
Well, against 15, I have an 8, a 2, and a 12. So.
Okay, so you've succeeded and you've added 1 back into the momentum pool.
Wait, not 4 momentum.
Yes. Okay. Here's what you can figure out by looking at this device. This machinery was built millennia ago. Species unknown, but it is obviously monitoring every aspect of the planet: geological makeup, electromagnetic fields, atmospheric conditions. It also seems to be affecting these things, everything from weather control to geological stability. The system shows that at some point the planet was moved from a different orbit into its current location, which, as far as you know, is not scientifically possible with the amount of power that you can lay your hands on quickly. The machinery appears to, at least in part, have been able to compensate for stresses that resulted from the move. And the machinery is malfunctioning.
Right.
Captain, this machinery is very old, older than probably the Federation, possibly older even than Vulcan. It appears to be some sort of device designed to monitor and maintain homeostasis on the planet as it was when this planet was shifted out of its original orbit. Is there a record of the original orbit?
The original orbit is not listed, no.
Okay. Out of its original orbit around the sun or around another one?
You're not sure if it was even in the same solar system.
Yeah.
Shifted from its original location, which may or may not be in the solar system. And it appears that these devices, all of this entire machinery, was designed to keep the planet from falling apart when it was moved. However, it appears the machinery is now malfunctioning and going counter to its original purpose. Can't tell what the malfunction is. Is it just damage or?
It looks like the damage has been caused by
Age.
disrepair.
By what?
Time.
Whoever built this place has not been maintaining it in a very, very long time.
Right.
So time is killing it. Or
Yeah.
time is killing it.
Captain, the species that put together this location appears to not have been here to maintain the machines in a very long time, possibly older than this species. However, if we were able to get the machines back up and running, it would continue to do so for as much time as our repairs held. Certainly more than enough time to either evacuate the planet or devise some other strategy for keeping the Lemurians from facing total extinction.
Well, I mean, they're just on the knife's edge of warp capable to begin with. Maybe we teach them how to run their own planet on this level.
That is an idea, Lieutenant Gen. However, our technology is not as advanced as this. I do not know that we can teach them this particular technology. Whether or not the Federation Council would allow us to give them warp technology several years early to facilitate their ex ex
Extradition? No, that's the wrong.
not
Ex
extradition, not exogenesis.
Exodus.
Exodus, that's the word. Sorry.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Um, exodus to a more stable planet is not without the realms of possibility. However, both will have to wait until we can get this stuff, this technology stabilized as well as we can. However much time we can get is even more time for the Lemurians to either
Evacuate
to
or
Orcus 2 or for the Federation Council to get back to us about possibly giving them technology early in the interest of saving their lives and their culture.
2 questions, Lieutenant.
Yes.
First, as much as I hesitate to say so, if this device were rendered non-functional, would this result in the destruction of this planet, or would it result or its salvation?
destruction.
Probability points towards destruction, as this planet is not in its original orbit, nor in its possibly in its original solar system. Local conditions may not support a planet of this size at this location for any longer than it would with the device active.
And we certainly don't have the technology in our among our people to move a planet to a better place.
Correct.
Certainly not without enormous expenditure of power, of course.
Additionally, I do not believe we have the technology capable of shutting this machine down fast enough that it would not completely destroy the planet in shutdown processes.
Mm. On the upside, if Lieutenant Kareth can get this stuff working again, we can do all the scans we want of this planet to figure out how it works.
That was the other quick thing: is do you think it is possible for us to stabilize this sufficient that it can be studied by the Federation?
It is not outside the realm of possibility. It will likely be difficult, as this is an unfamiliar technology, but it is simple disrepair that has rendered it less than functional. Simply seeing where the thing, how it is supposed to be, is not necessarily the easiest way. However, we do have a great deal of it that is in varying stages of repair that we might see how the damaged items are to be specific, how they were originally designed to be put together. So
Very well.
using other parts as blueprints, we may be able to patch the systems together enough that it would last for at least several more years. And with that being said, that would give us enough time to get back to the Federation Council about giving them warp technology, or to exodus the entire population to Orcus 2, which was, I believe, their original plan.
Orcus
Well-
question: Orcus 2 is the planet with the medieval warlike guys, right?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Slithar live on Oregon
Yeah.
too.
Or
So technically, they're also under the Prime Directive thing, but
So we're assuming that they're 7 years from warp technology. I
these
have
people.
a feeling that they were 7 years from warp technology before we landed.
yeah, Captain, what's the precedence of Prime Directive when there's an archaeologically ridiculous deposit of technology already on the planet?
That's an excellent question. Can I roll for that? I am an expert on Starfleet protocol.
That would be reason plus command.
Sure.
This is how we work together.
Sure. So I will do reason plus command, which is a 11. And I will spend a momentum on that because why not? Rolling 3 dice.
I mean, for all we know, this was a very long ago generation of the people who live here now, or they evolved after this fact.
It is not without precedent that other more advanced species have saved, if you will, less advanced technology from places that they were about to be destroyed.
That
I can
too.
think of at least one such instance on the Enterprise.
So that's a 5, a 15, and a 20. It is one of my focuses. So how does this work?
Okay, so the 20 will cause a complication.
Yep.
The 5 will give you 2 successes.
Right.
And because you have a focus, it reduces the difficulty by 1. So you were at difficulty 0, so you have 2 successes. So you have 2 momentum you can spend if you would like.
Right.
To obtain information.
So absolutely, let's spend 1 of those momentum to get information.
Okay. So here's the long and the short of this is an archaeological find does not invalidate the Prime Directive. The Prime Directive is the first General Order 1 of Starfleet, and anyone who violates it for any reason is likely up for at least a court-martial or a board of inquiry. Extenuating circumstances only apply if you are correcting an earlier violation of the Prime Directive, or if you are attempting to save. There's another corollary to the Prime Directive.
Worth knowing, Josh. You can spend a momentum to remove a complication.
I did know that I was planning on spending the other momentum to remove the complication.
Okay.
Thank you.
The only violations of the Prime Directive that are viable are to right an earlier violation caused by someone else, or to correct accidental contamination of a culture. Those are the only rationales for you violating the Prime Directive.
I mean-
Archaeological information does not qualify as a rationale to violate the Prime Directive.
I mean, if you look at it a certain way, both have happened. They're being
Yeah.
contaminated by previous technology, and whoever put it here clearly violated the Prime Directive.
Well, I mean, it was likely their ancestors, but yes, it is very likely.
Could be their ancestors, might not be.
However, even the crash of the Tesla would count.
Yes.
The crash of the Tesla does not count because those are not Starfleet personnel; those are Federation citizens. Federation citizens are not required to abide by the Prime Directive, as they are not members of Starfleet.
So they can't violate it even if they're not.
Oh no, they can violate the Prime Directive all they like, as they are not members of Starfleet. The Federation citizens can do whatever they want.
Oh, Jesus.
However, Starfleet personnel are held to a higher
Robots.
standard.
That does, however, mean that the violations they make may effectively render violations of the Prime Directive by us moot, as we have not violated the Prime Directive once that the civilization has been changed in a certain way.
That is
Which-
potentially true.
We would still need to speak to the scientists before we could make that determination. However,
Indeed.
fixing this technology, given that it is light years beyond even our own, is not about violation of the Prime Directive. Teaching the civilization how to use it might be.
Mm.
Starfleet personnel giving them, no offense, Captain Thema, giving that civilization warp technology would definitely be a violation. Private
Well-
Federation citizens, however, are on planet, and we could work with that. However, I believe our
Yeah,
current
priority is stabilize the equipment, and then we can figure out how to least bork the Prime Directive after that.
correct.
We have
So-
options, but let's work on this first.
Yep. And I'll spend the remaining momentum to prevent the complication caused by the D20.
Okay.
Because earthquakes.
Um,
And we're 5 kilometers underground.
I would like to try and see if I can even begin the repair process, or see if I can.
You'd have to understand the controls first.
Yeah. Okay. I like to understand the controls first, and then I believe I could spend determination to surge of activity, perform another task immediately.
Okay.
Okay. Well, the first thing you need to do is make a reason plus engineering task.
Okay.
Difficulty 3.
Difficulty 3. Okay. In that case, I will spend momentum. Let's see my engineering. What
Is this to figure out the controls?
Yeah, this is to understand how the controls work.
Okay. And what opportunities are there to help? 'Cause
Yeah.
That seems like a hard role.
You
that
can
helping them-
assist. It is a reason plus engineering task.
Captain, what's your engineering?
My engineering.
Under disciplines.
Yep, I know. My engineering is 2. So my reason plus
Okay.
engineering is 10 total.
Okay, then yours is you're better. My engineering is 1, so
Yeah, my reason plus engineering is 12.
Okay.
I will be spending 1 momentum to get an additional dice.
And sure, I will spend momentum to help, just because an extra die on this is actually helpful.
Okay.
Okay.
I have 2 successes.
Okay.
I have 6, a 7, and an 8, which is surprisingly serendipitous. Against 12. So I have 3.
Okay. So you've successfully completed the understanding task with 2 momentum left over.
sweet.
Speaking of effects dice for doing potential stuff,
Yes, go ahead and roll your untapped potential dice.
3.
And I should also do that, I think.
Yes.
6, that's not great. So it adds momentum back, but also the complication, I think.
Yes. You are in the process of manipulating one of the subprocessors, and it was about to spit a giant bolt of electricity at you, but you managed to flip the processors off in time to not melt your face with lightning, with the complication you prevented.
Okay.
Go,
So-
Captain, go.
You have figured out how the machinery works. Now, if you want to try and fix it, that's a whole other kettle of fish. This is requires at least 2 characters working together in order to do this. One of you will have to make an insight or reason plus science task, and the other one needs to do daring or control plus engineering.
Okay, so what were the rolls again?
Insight or reason plus science, and daring or control plus engineering.
Okay, so my best on that is control plus engineering of 12.
Yeah, my control plus engineering is 11. My
Um,
reason plus science is 15.
Yeah, my reason plus science is a 13. Insight plus science would be a 12.
What's your? No, it's con or
Oh.
daring plus engineering. Would be the
Oh.
other roll that we want.
Well, yeah, my engineering's a 1, so con engineering would be 11. Daring engineering would be 8.
Same. So I guess it's you and me, Captain.
Rates up.
All right, I will spend 1 point momentum to add to my roll here.
Both of these are difficulty 3 tasks.
Oh, both of these are difficulty 3 tests. Okay.
Okay, so I'm here if they fuck up, and
Yeah, I
we're
thought I
all
was
still
gonna
alive
do-
afterwards.
Um,
Halal is sort of leaning up against one of the panels and just sort of watching.
Because it involves tectonics, can I use my focus of exotectonics?
Yes.
can the NPCs help out on this, or is this player facing?
We're main
the-
characters.
There's only room for 2 of you to work on it at a time.
Okay.
I do have some xenobiology questions for later, but after, immediate danger has passed.
Cool. So at 15 difficulty, I got a 14, a 4, and a 10 with a focus.
Okay. You successfully completed your half of the task with 1 extra momentum.
And I roll my effects dice because I use momentum to do the thing. Potential.
Yes.
2.
You get 2 additional momentum in the pool.
Woot.
Right.
If you use 3, you can use 2 extra dice. I think it's how it works.
Yes. So
Yes.
actually, since this combined set of tasks, can Lieutenant Kareth spend that momentum to give me extra dice now before it goes into the pool? Or does it have to go into the pool first?
It has to go to the pool first.
So sure, I will pull 3 momentum out of the pool to give me 2 extra dice.
Okay.
Since this is a pretty hard task. That said, I rolled a 4, a 6, a 10, and another 10.
So you have succeeded with and put 1 momentum back in the pool. Go ahead and roll your untapped potential.
Yes, I should. Another complication, sadly.
Okay.
So that'll cancel out because I'll just spend the momentum to cancel out the complication.
Okay.
As much as I'm curious as what the complication you would come up with for that is.
Oh, I have a list of hazards. You managed to successfully partially repair the machinery as best you can, and it's kind of functional again.
Jerry rigging.
Geological instability seems to be subsiding. So is the electromagnetic disturbance.
Right.
Do the communicators work again?
Not yet. You're still 5 kilometers underground.
Fair.
Analyzing the data that's coming through the machinery's monitoring systems, you've bought the plan at 6 months.
Right. So that should be time enough to do an evacuation and possibly for a short science mission if they can go down without breaking the Prime Directive, but that'll remain to be seen.
Well, 6 months gives us time to go to the Federation Council or the Starfleet Council and say, hey, how are we permitted to fix this? Also, are we in trouble?
I'm actually pretty sure we're not in trouble, but I could be wrong.
You're the captain. You know this more than I do. I'm a doctor, not a lawyer.
Okay.
By your order, Captain.
Well, looks like we've succeeded for at least the next 6 months. That should be enough time for your people to be able to effect a reasonable evacuation.
Certainly better than 2 weeks.
You managed to get back to the surface because you're aware that the more time you spend down here, there's radiation jets that are shooting out every so often.
Oh yeah, I know.
There's fires. This is not a safe place to be standing around.
No, we were heading back to the surface as soon as we could.
Oh yeah.
You get back to your shuttle. You have a communication link back to the Bellerophon. Would you like to update the rest of the crew as to what's going on?
We do.
Captain.
Okay.
And possibly we'll get an update if anything weird has happened up there. But as far as I know, the mission is now over aside from bringing the scientists back.
Do the Federation scientists still want to stay here, and help?
They're probably going to continue to assist with the evacuation. The science officer gives you some bad news. There are nowhere near enough ships in the area or able to get through the Shackleton Expanse to assist you with the evacuation. There's not enough time or room to get everybody out to another planet outside the system. They would have to evacuate to Oregon 2.
Hey, Captain, that would break the Prime Directive if our ship was involved in getting the Marine citizens to Orgus 2.
Okay.
Well,
we've got 6
Righty then.
months.
I believe that that saving massive based on my previous role, preventing massive loss of life is one of the the traditional exceptions to the Prime Directive.
It is not.
It is not. Okay.
No.
The only acceptable violation of the Prime Directive involved writing an earlier violation of the Prime Directive or correcting accidental contamination of said culture.
Which again, both could count. Depending on how we spin it to the council.
Now that said,
Now I think what they're talking about more is if we'd only had 2 weeks to evacuate, there's not enough ships in the area to get everyone out. But we've got 6 months to contact Starfleet, figure out what's going to happen, or what we can do. Because there are extenuating circumstances. We didn't violate the Prime Directive by moving a planet and then setting up an egg timer on it. Sure.
So correct me if I'm wrong. The issue is we could not evacuate them outside of this system. So the question is, what is the state of Oregon 2? And are we concerned with them evacuating to a nearby planet rather than outside the system? Is that correct?
Oregon 2 is also an inhabited planet with a pre-warp civilization.
And they're
I see.
medieval level, so
Substantially
They're,
more
they're a
pre-warp.
lower tech level than the Lormians.
I would like to speak to my colleagues of the Science Expedition privately.
and I would like to, while I'm here, do a little bit of a xenobiology check and try and figure out how old this species is and if they might have been the ones who moved the planet and then maybe had a dark age, or if they're a whole new species that grew in the death of the previous one.
Roll reason plus medicine.
Awesome. And reason plus medicine is a 13. What does a xenobiology focus give me?
Reduces the difficulty by 1.
Ah, okay. And I rolled 2 20s, so fuck me.
You have no idea how long the Lormians have been here. You suspect the Lormians may have evolved from Q.
From what?
Q?
Q.
Oh,
Evolved from what?
Q.
you know, she suspects that. If I suspect that, she's just not going to say anything.
Yeah.
She don't want to fuck with the Q. She's like,
You want to speak to the science division?
because I can't roll for shit today.
The 4 surviving scientists of the Tesla.
Oh, you want to talk to them? Okay. While you're doing so, the science officer goes, really, you have 3 choices, Captain. You can help the scientists, knowing that that's a violation of the Prime Directive. You can refuse to help, but don't interfere with the scientists. Or you can stop the scientists from helping. Those are really the 3 options in front of us. Because even if we were to get out of the Shackleton Expanse, call the Federation Council, that's a month-and-a-half trip, plus another month-and-a-half, and you've got 3 months to try and get ships into the area to try and get these people off planet.
What about Narendra Station?
Well,
So what?
Narendra Station that we
Not
have with the
here.
Klingons. We're
That's
we're
not-
way far from that. How?
Yeah.
Okay. How many months if we traveled directly into the Shackleton Expanse?
You would be probably another month and a half, either
Okay.
direction, and then you're hoping that the Klingons are willing to help.
Well, no, Narendra. Actually, no. This is a different game. I don't know how the actual setting is. Never mind.
So,
Now, I believe that this planet moving that is it considered a violation of the Prime Directive if one civilization invades another dramatically differently developed civilization? It's certainly a violation of the spirit of the Prime Directive.
If you assisted them in any way, yes.
if they did it by themselves, no, because they are not bound by the Prime Directive.
Correct.
Captain, I know I'm just a medical lieutenant, but I'm all for helping people to err on the side of saving lives.
While this is going on, I would like to speak to the scientists directly and privately. What's the name of the head scientist?
I want to wait for that because I want to ask Lieutenant Kara.
Dr. Sherman.
Sorry,
Dr. Sherman.
Dr. Sherman. Dr. Sherman. My colleagues and I have determined that approximately 5 kilometers below the surface of this planet, 5 kilometers north of the city, there is an ancient alien installation that was designed to prevent this particular planet from being destroyed when it was moved from its original orbit. We do not know what the original orbit was, nor which original solar system it came from. However, the station has been long abandoned. We did what we could to repair it, but it will not last beyond 6 months. By your own estimates, what was the technology level of this civilization before you arrived?
They're 6 or 7 years away from being actively developing warp drive technology.
And would you say that your presence here has accelerated that timeline?
No, we haven't given them any technology, although they are aware of the existence of the Federation and other aliens.
The nearest help is at least 3 months away. Now, it is not logical.
That is untrue. The nearest help is in orbit.
That's us. The nearest help is us.
Starfleet regulations prevent us from helping in any way, shape, or form because to violate the Prime Directive, which this would be if we helped. However,
What help
as,
is 3 months away.
as a civilian scientist, you are not bound by the Prime Directive. We cannot knowingly assist you in any way that would give this civilization technology beyond its current limits. Nor can we knowingly assist, nor can they knowingly allow you to develop technology that would take these people to Orgus 2, which has another civilization on it that is protected by the
Well,
Prime Directive.
they are they already spacefaring? The Orcus, the
No,
lemur?
the Slithar are medieval era
No,
technology.
no. I mean the people here. What are they called again? The lemurs?
The Lormians,
The Lormians.
they do have spacecraft of their own. They're intrasystem.
Okay, so they don't have warp tech, so they couldn't get, as far as we can, but they can at least get their own butts to the other planet in this system.
They have very, very, very limited amounts of spacecraft.
Yeah. But ultimately, we wouldn't need to use warp to take them from here to there either.
That is true.
But that's still not preferable because, yeah, double Prime Directive, nopes.
Violation. So, the Bellerophon cannot knowingly help you give the civilization warp tech, nor can it knowingly bring any Lemurians to Argus 2, as that is also a Prime Directive protected planet. What private citizens do on their own time is, of course, their own, and I cannot give you any direction about your own private affairs. Good day to you, Doctor. And I will go back to my captain.
Isn't a lot of that the captain's call?
It is.
Because, yeah, you got a human captain. I'm sorry.
Good talk. That reminds me of talking to a computer. Goes back to what he
Okay.
was doing.
Prime Directive, boy, we've never heard of that before.
Dr. Sherman goes back to assisting the Lormians with their scientific, with their developing of some new spaceships to get them from point A to point B.
So Lieutenant Kareth, we're considering our options. I believe you have heard the three options that are set before us. What is your opinion?
The most logical thing to do would be to withdraw the Bellerophon and head to Federation space to make contact with the Federation. I calculate a very high probability that the Federation would allow the assistance to the Lemurians for relocation, possibly outside of their own solar system, given that there are only 2 habitable planets in this one, and this particular planet is unstable. However, we would have 3 months to evacuate, and I do not have data on how close any of the other Federation vessels are.
3 months is still better than 2 weeks.
I believe in 3 months we do not have enough time to go away and come back, and still have people be here.
Captain, we
No,
have
we have 6 months
It would take 3 months for us to do a
to
round
get
trip
there and
Federation
back
space.
and come back. Round trip from Oregon to the edge of to proper Federation.
A little tight.
The expanse is about a month and a half.
So to get here to Federation space and then back again is 3 months, at which point we have 3 months to get people off this planet. Or if the Federation sends us more archaeological specialists, once we show them the data we've gathered, if they've encountered this kind of technology before, they might be able to come up with a better fix.
That also assumes that there are ships that are at the border waiting for you when you get there.
But there are listening posts and, like,
Yeah,
subspace.
but any ships that would come would still have to take time to get to here to come in.
So I have a related question, which is: are there relatively unpopulated planets that are close enough for them to, assuming that they had access to warp technology, for them to relocate to without disturbing a medieval civilization?
So other M-class planets that are not inhabited by sentient life.
Yes.
There is another M-class planet with about 9 light years from here that's not currently inhabited by anyone.
How does 9 light years translate time-wise?
If you had warp 1, you could get there in a couple of months.
How much momentum do we have?
I believe you were sitting at 4 after the scene has changed.
4, yeah.
Because I believe I'm going to try to come up with the ridiculous justification for a for directive 0.5 which is acting upon the root concept behind the Prime Directive rather than the literal interpretation of the Prime Directive itself.
Enlightened self-interest, sir?
The Prime Directive exists to preserve civilizations and make sure that they develop independently and without external interference. It is worded in a fashion that directs the Starfleet personnel to not themselves breach this principle. But this deeper principle is, in fact, the thing that is great in play. If one breaks the principle in service of the Prime Directive, one has not truly served the Prime Directive.
Captain, I feel I must warn you that assisting the Lemurians would likely result in court-martial or what's the other one? Board of Inquiry.
And that's why I'm trying to come
However-
up with a legal justification for this.
However, I will say that your reasons are logical, and that the needs of the few the needs of the many must outweigh the needs of the few. If we are to be court-martialed out of Starfleet, then to save an entire civilization, I would say that would be a logical outcome.
Again, you can't make deals if you're dead.
Okay. Zara, should I get a roll on this, or are we going based on the stuff the player just came up with?
You can come up with a justification if you would like.
I mean, I just did my bullshitty in terms of play. If a roll would help
Are you
not
attempting to
having a
convince
court
the rest
martial.
of the Bellerophon crew to help you?
What?
Are you attempting to convince the rest of the Bellerophon crew to help you?
Yes, I think I will attempt to convince the Bellerophon to help us, because we do not want to have an early civilization invaded by another civilization on our watch, even if it technically breaks the Prime Directive in order to prevent it.
That would be presence plus command.
Woohoo!
Are any of my focuses appropriate here? I think at least one of them should be. Probably Starfleet Protocol.
Yeah, because you're trying to figure out how to break it.
Yep. So sure. That's 2 dice. Presence plus command is an 11 because I'm a generalist. And sure, I'll throw in 2 extra dice for 3 momentum. Right, so that's a 1, a 5, an 8, and an 11.
So the science officer happens to be the one who's manning the con at the time, since no one else is everyone else is basically working on the project. He goes, "You want to do what now?"
Ain't no captain like a human captain. Oh yes.
You want us aboard a Starfleet vessel to take a pre-warp civilization to another planet that they can inhabit because theirs is about to be destroyed.
And because they will be, and because their current only solution is to invade a medieval planet civilization, which happens to be right next to them, and is in far more risk. That was, to be clear, that was 8 momentum that I'm working with, I think.
Do you have projections
9.
for how many of these people are going to survive? Do you have any math to back up your play?
Somebody else should make some rolls.
I will upload my tricorder data on the outpost that we scanned after it finished fluctuating, the ancient alien stuff. Specifically, the technological forecasts and working data.
Yeah, their civilization otherwise has had 2 weeks, now only has 6 months to survive on that planet.
This planet.
This planet.
Okay.
I'm creating an advantage before things go into the pool of ridiculous justification, whatever you want to call it.
Human instinct.
Okay. Let me phrase this one more time. Are you ordering me to bring the Bellerophon in to assist with this particular project?
I am.
Okay. At that point, The holodeck doors open, and
Uh-oh.
Admiral Ross walks into the room.
Wait, wait.
Holodeck?
Wait,
and
we
Oh
had,
says,
god.
we had an
"Computer
admiral?
in simulation." And the three of you, your uniforms dissolve, and you are back in your cadet uniforms.
Oh no! This was the
Kobayashi Maru.
this is Kobayashi Maru.
It's not the Kobayashi Maru, because you're not one. Two of you aren't command level cadets, and
Oh,
three,
shoot.
you're all first year cadets at Starfleet.
Nice.
Cadet Mercer is manning the control room, and he's having a grand old time. His jacket's off. He's sitting there hitting buttons and doing things. You can see Sori and Brandy sitting on the console next to where he's working from.
Oh, we're the problem students, aren't we?
No, Admiral Ross goes, "You're going to violate the Prime Directive on day 4."
Only if it's justified, sir.
It was the most logical course of action, sir. By sacrificing ourselves, we would have been able to save an entire civilization. The odds were worth it.
I believe, Kareth, that you're incorrect.
You have
2 civilizations.
Mm.
Cadet Mercer. Do you happen to remember what happened when the Lormians were actually moved to Oregon 2 the last time when this happened 30 years ago? Because this is a simulation of a recreation of what actually happened
Oh.
as a learning exercise. As I recall, the Lormians ended up destroying the Slithar civilization due to an unexpected biological interaction between their 2 species.
And that was why our determination was to not move them to Oregon 2
Was-
and to interfere to make sure that didn't happen.
and move them 9 light years away to another M-class planet.
You have still violated the Prime Directive.
Yep. But with
You-
one species, not 2.
You still violated the Prime Directive, which would involve all of you getting court-martialed for doing so.
Sir, it was worth it.
How many billions of people were on that planet?
It was only logical to do so.
Oregon 3, 20 million.
Yeah.
They saved 2.5 million when they moved them to Oregon 2. They did manage to kill 500 million Slithar in the process, though. However, as we figured out with the planet that's 9 light years away, that planet was hit by a solar storm 6 years after this incident and wiped out the M-class planet that was in system.
Oh, for
That was not available data at the time.
I believe
Given the available data, moving them the 9 light years to the M-class planet there was the most logical route of action.
I
will
believe
ask
you're
you if you've heard of a planet called Tau Ceti Alpha 5.
Have I? I'm sorry.
Yes, it is the planet that Khan Noonien Singh was marooned on by Captain Kirk.
ah, yes.
It was
No.
mislabeled in a survey as Tau Ceti Alpha 6.
And it moved.
Yes, and caused a great deal of consternation for Kirk and the rest of the original Enterprise crew when Khan showed up with a stolen Federation ship and tried to wreck the place.
So wait, what's Tau Ceti Alpha whatever?
Wrath of Khan.
Right, no. I know the canon stuff. I'm like, how did that enter the conversation? I missed that part.
An unintended consequence of Starfleet deciding to meddle in the affairs of a planet they didn't have any business doing anything with.
Ah, okay.
The Prime Directive is important because we have no idea what possible unintended consequences we can have when we interfere with pre-warp civilizations. I wish we could hold civilians to a higher standard involving the Prime Directive, but we can't. I keep trying to convince Starfleet that we should probably do something about this, but so far the Federation Council is willing to allow them to do whatever they want.
Well, it would be terrible if people were able to do whatever they want.
So, you have officially flunked this assignment.
By not killing 2 million people. Or is it 200 million people?
20
20.
million.
20 million.
Technically 520 million, but yes.
The Prime Directive doesn't care about the body count for the people that we lose. because contaminating those cultures could cause more damage than you can possibly imagine to cultures around them. Is it necessarily the nicest, friendliest part of the Prime Directive? No. But it is the Prime Directive for a reason. It's General Order 1.
Commander, did or did not our solution do less damage than what happens in reality?
Impossible to predict. Likely, what would have happened would have been the complete death of the Lemurian civilization 6 years later, on the M-class planet when the sun expanded and destroyed it.
But in the real world, it was that civilization plus the neighboring one.
Mm.
The
That civilization,
Lorians took over Oregon too. They've successfully inhabited the planet for the last 30 years. They just built their civilization on the bodies of the Slithar.
a disease, I believe, crossed over between the two and destroyed the Slithar, which was 500 million, I believe.
We do not get to pick who we choose to save with the Prime Directive. Violating it is the last course of action possible, and only to do for under what two circumstances.
To repair damage done previously.
And
To repair damage done previously by somebody else.
close enough.
So the movement of the planet by an outside civilization does not count against the Prime Directive.
Starfleet didn't move the planet.
So if a civilian breaks if a civilian does it, it is not breaking the Prime Directive. Is this correct?
Correct. Civilians are not bound by the Prime Directive.
So attempting to reverse the damage that they had done would simply be breaking the Prime Directive to begin with.
You have far too many pronouns in that statement for it to be interpretable.
So if a Starfleet officer attempts to correct damage done by a civilian in attempt to preserve the Prime Directive, that would simply be breaking the Prime Directive in the first place because the civilian did not break it, despite the culture being contaminated.
I
That's
believe
one way
that's
to interpret it. It's the narrower logical interpretation. However, you could argue that Federation personnel should not be anywhere near pre-warp civilizations, and attempting to correct Federation oversights that have led to violations of the Prime Directive is in the spirit of the Prime Directive. That would be the more emotional aspect of trying to interpret the Prime Directive.
And all this, and the Prime Directive only applies to Federation actions. No, if the Klingons decide to interfere, or say another civilization, spacefaring, not signatory to the Federation attempted to interfere, this would not violate the Prime Directive, and would not constitute a reason to violate the Prime Directive to prevent that contamination.
That's an interesting one because Admiral Kirk attempted to a similar prospect in the 22nd century involving a border war with the Klingons and an arms race and arming native settlers to a native world that they'd never encountered. The Klingons were arming one side with firearms. Kirk came up with a solution to arm the other group of natives with firearms and just keep escalating the war and using these two factions to fight us out as a proxy. I, however, think that probably it would have been a better idea to have a conversation with the Klingons and say, hey, don't do this.
That is
But
logical.
Kirk was Kirk.
Captain Kirk's actions were not perhaps the epitome of logic.
so. In this situation, did it not theoretically apply that their contact with their neighboring planet was also a violation of the Prime Directive?
Their contact with their neighbors is not a violation of the Prime Directive because they are neither signatories to the Federation nor are they Starfleet personnel.
True enough. But then the same is true for the Klingons.
The Klingons could have assisted them with, if they had wanted to, had they been in the area. And that would not have been a violation of the Prime Directive, as the Klingons are not governed by the Prime Directive. I think they have a rule similar to the Prime Directive, but it's Klingon logic, and that's always tricky to follow.
So the correct answer to this assignment would have been to just talk to the crashed scientists and leave?
the best possible outcome would have been to, from a prime directive standpoint, would have been to ascertain the damage to the Tesla, the disposition of the scientists. In order to extricate yourselves from the situation you had found yourselves in, you needed to investigate the cave and discover the machinery. And at that point, what you can physically do and not violate the prime directive is over. At that point, you physically cannot interfere with the course the Loremians decide to take. If it's to evacuate their planet to a neighboring world, that's up to them.
So we weren't even supposed to fix the machinery.
You could have. It would have made sense for you to attempt to do so through both intellectual curiosity and scientific pursuits. The machinery is an interesting device. However, you have no way of fixing it permanently, which means that the planet is still doomed.
30 years ago, was the Lemurian Society assisted in any way by Federation citizens in their move to the Organ 2?
Yes, the captain of the what ship was that?
Tesla.
Cadet Mercer goes, I think it was the Solar Skate. The Admiral glares over at Cadet Mercer and goes, yeah, Captain White, as I recall, is still in a Federation penal colony for that particular decision. Because his violation of the prime directive and choosing to help them led to the destruction of the Slithar civilization.
So consequences are taken into account just when judging these things.
Are you arguing that had your solution killed less people, you should be less punished for violating the prime directive?
I was observing that in practice, we would have been less punished for violating the prime directive had our situation killed less people.
I suspect that the Board of Inquiry probably would have court-martialed all of you. The captain probably would have been sent to a penal colony. The rest of you would have gotten severe reprimands, probably loss of rank. Your science officer also would have been arrested for not stopping you from violating the prime directive. A ship works as a cohesive unit to enforce the rules and maintain order in space. You work together and lean on each other to help you follow the rules. Does that make sense?
Yes, Admiral.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Admiral.
Excellent. Now you all have a nice lengthy report on what you did wrong to write, along with what I am sure is going to be another exciting simulation day after tomorrow.
By your order, Admiral.
Cadets dismissed.
Very well.
Lowell's like,
Who?
the con officer who's been rolling around with you in this entire mission.
The Cadet Mercer.
No.
Or-
Halal, Lieutenant
Oh,
Halal.
Halal.
Lieutenant Halal is a Cadet Halal.
Oh.
She's also not happy to have failed this particular operation.
Well, this is an ice cream for lunch kind of day.
It is. It's true. Kirk would have gotten a
Finding
little bit of them.
refuge.
As you all
Leaving
exit the
emotion.
holodeck, you hear Admiral Ross yelling at Cadet Mercer.
Ooh, what? What is he saying?
Something about letting them violate the prime directive again.
Yeah, we're the problem student. Okay.
Relieving emotional distress by consumption of carbs and sugars is a tried and tested human technique for dealing with emotional outbursts.
Yes,
The
I
last
know.
You hear as you leave is Cadet Mercer reply back to the Admiral, I would never violate the prime directive for monkey people.
Wow. Wow.
Other people, sure, but not monkey people. No.
Which Halal kind of shakes her head. You would think 30 years in a Federation prison colony would tell him to shut up around Admiralty.
It is not logical. but I do not believe Mercer's actions are much dictated by logic.
What race is Mercer again?
Allegedly Elarian.
Oh, that guy. Okay.
So the four of you are walking out of the holodeck back onto the campus at Starfleet Academy. The camera pulls out, and that is where the story ends for today.
Cool
was
beans.
all a holodeck. Yes.
You have officially failed your first task as Starfleet cadets.
You know, it isn't Star Trek if you don't violate the Prime Directive at least once.
I would be very surprised if, I would be very surprised if less than half cadets didn't fail that one.
Yeah. I mean, if everyone in that line of training fails the Kobayashi Maru unless they hack the system. Although that's the Kelvin timeline, so I'm not sure if we're accepting that scene. Oh, Kirk.
Nobody's sure how Kirk passed it in the Prime timeline either.
Well, we're sure in the Kelvin timeline because they did a scene of it and he hacked the computer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, in lots of them in lots of fiction I've read, and I mean like
Yeah.
proper published fiction, not just fan fiction, which technically, anyway.
But yeah, I would
he did in fact cheat in some fashion on the Kobayashi Maru.
Because it's Kirk.
I thought him cheating was in fact canon. Exactly how he cheated was another matter. And he
Um,
reprogrammed the computer so that it was winnable.
It all comes down to whether or not you consider the J.J. Abrams movies to be canon or a mistake, which is up to the individual fan as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, I would also suspect most cadets fail a lot of these before they succeed.
I
Literal
believe
Prime timeline
Dark Nature
programmed
is
the Klingons to be afraid of him.
Especially on day 4, like
Oh, day 4? Yeah, we're new.
yeah, this is some day 4 simulation shit. Like yeah, you're gonna. I mean, day 4 is school. You flunk shit, you know.
Day 4, and one of you isn't even a Federation race. Although I dare say more human than human at this point. Hi, I'm a Ferengi.
Halal's not Federation either.
Oh, okay then. Yeah, 2 of us aren't even fit from this sector of space. So, okay.
So, yeah, as you're out of character, Halal's like, who signed your application to get in? What command level officer approved you?
I don't know. I wasn't given a background for my character. Just a sheet. It's a I don't mind playing a pre-gen, but if you don't tell me what the story is, I'm not gonna know it.
Rom managed to work out a deal with Admiral Ross, actually.
Oh dear. I worked out a deal with Admiral Ross. Okay. Oh,
Well, no, the Grand Nagus of the
Oh.
group managed to work out a deal with Admiral Ross to get several candidates through the system.
Ooh. So is it technically Admiral Ross that signed my...
Yes, Admiral Ross is the one who signed your application.
Yeah, Admiral Ross signed my application, technically.
Ah.
Because, the Grand Nagus really wants to see, rule of acquisition expand or die. Means working within the Federation to learn, what else, learn not just self-interest, but enlightened self-interest. But apparently that doesn't extend to saving 20 million non-Federation pre-warp people. But
that is Star Trek Adventures for the day, everyone. I'm not sure what we're doing next week, but we'll be back probably.
Neither am I, and I'm technically a GM. Woot. We'll figure something out. Yeah, next week is something. Depends on how many of our players we get back. We might run Exit to Eden again, but then the week after that is the Dark Crystal game.
Sorry.
Assuming we can get a session 0 together. But we will figure that out. But yes, would you like to do outros, Admiral Ross, while I look up someone to raid?
Excellent. I am Zardoz. I am portraying Admiral Ross today. I am at Once and Future Doctor on Twitter. This is Star Trek Adventures by Modiphius. Captain Reese, I believe you're up.
I was playing Captain Reese. I'm Josh. You can find me on Twitter and still Dreamwith technically as Neme, M-N-E-M-E, or on YouTube and a few other places as NemX, the same thing with an X at the end.
I'm Merc. I played Lieutenant Kareth today, the Vulcan science officer. Because why not go for the classic tropes? You can't really find me on social medias, or I mean, I guess you could if you looked hard enough, but there's no reason to bother. I don't do anything on them. I mod for Zombie Orpheus Entertainment Twitch channel, so watch it Monday and Wednesday for TTRPG stuff. It's fun.
And I'm Ms. Chrysala, today playing Lieutenant Gen, who didn't have all that much to do because no one got seriously injured and she was the medic. But,
better to have and not need than need and not have.
Oh, yes. And I just love playing Ferengi. I've recycled that voice into Exit to Eden because I love playing Ferengi. We get a whole weird scripture to recite, and it's fun. And I've been watching other groups play Star Trek Adventures on Twitch for a while now, so yay! Thank you, Zardoz, for running this, because I've wanted to play the system a long, long time. Woohoo!
It's a fun system.
But yes, I'm generally the GM here, so it's also just nice to get to play. So thank you, Merc and Zardoz for both running games the last few weeks. Josh probably will eventually.
Probably eventually.
No harm, no shame for not doing it though, because we are in the middle of an apocalypse. So, but yeah. So I think we're gonna raid the Dice Cult today, and hope they're still playing, because that's a little tricky to gauge sometimes with them. But yeah. So do we have anyone have any more announcements?
I do not.
Nope.
Okay. Then, chat, thank you for watching today. Keep track of us on social media to see what we're up to. We're doing crafty streams for like an hour a couple weekdays because that's my lunch break. I am working on Dark Crystal crafty stuff in advance of our game in a couple weeks. Oh, and our Discord is now open. I still haven't put a link of the Discord in the Nightbot, but it is on our Twitch page, so, like, the link is there. Go look at it. And just come hang out with us at our Discord, because it's a nice chill time. So, until next week, whatever we end up doing, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and we are gonna set up to raid the Dice Cult, who are playing Vampire the Masquerade, with our Star Trek-y shenanigans. Phasers set to fun. Let's go bug the Dice Cult.